All right, so we are back. Appreciate your patience and the stream feed. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure based on what I could see, you at least hear what was going on. Okay, so perfect.
The Umbrella Academy made a phone plan. Number 5, enroll.
The Umbrella Company, huh?
Yeah, it was an ad.
Oh, did you look at the stream and it gave you an ad?
Yeah, like as soon as it opened up, it was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a bummer about the way they do the live stream now. Even if you are like if you have Twitch Prime, which you get if you have Amazon Prime. Yes, so it looks like it's going right now. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime, which is supposed to get rid of the ads, or at least it did originally. I guess they weren't making enough money off of it.
I guess I have to log in with it then because I do have Amazon Prime. But
oh yeah, do that then, because then you can end up setting up a subscription to the thing. Hold on a second. Did it freeze up again?
No.
No, on our side, the Twitch stream looks like it did.
Delayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep getting spinning circles.
Spin circles.
Spinning.
The stoppies. It's got the stoppies.
It's got the stoppies. Okay. No, it looks like we're good now again. I can still, because what was happening is I could actually see from this side that that it wasn't moving. I just figured maybe this was paused or something. Anyways, whatever. Alrighty. So anyway, so back to you, Derek.
Yep.
So yeah. So what was your question then?
What am I doing? You're giving me some background with that.
That is entirely up to you at this point. You've kind of been given free reign to look into and check on things for the clan and take your own initiative. One thing you do know is you need to try and find a high-paying job, because if your clan is going to, or family at this point, is going to set up shop here, they're going to need some tools for farming and repairing and stuff like that, and you're going to need cash for that.
Okay.
So where we left off, I think, with your entrance is you are actually at the Steel Spur.
Okay.
Oh, Vix Knight's in here. Hey, what's going on, dude?
Hey.
He's actually a former player and fan. So hello, Vix Knight. I apologize if there's some technical difficulty with the stream. These are our lovely Cyberpunk players. Vix Knight actually played in 2 vampire games that I ran. So some of you who are a part of the family in our home game, he was actually in a Sabat game that was set in the same timeline.
Oh, right on.
So Derek, you were at the that Steel Spur, the pub that sits in North Tempe, I believe is where we set that out.
Okay.
I'll need to print up my notes here. I'll probably do that on a break, so that way I don't mess up the stream. I don't want to jump back and forth and cause any more delays. But you're there because, and you've been in town enough to know that this particular pub, I mean, you can kind of go really anywhere for this sort of thing, even to a licensed bounty hunting office, if you really wanted to. But this particular pub is known for its classifieds that it's got on a wall. For lack of a better term, think D&D. The difference is their classifieds wall's electronics. You can actually kind of go up there and scroll through it. It does have a bit of a reputation where sometimes shadier companies trying to keep off the radar will put something up there for a high pay, but obviously high risk. So high risk, high reward, and they're almost always cash only. So like they will give you the cash, or they'll give you the cred chip.
Okay.
Which that speaks volumes, because it's like if you can pull something off like that from here, that would do your family fantastic. And as Vix Knight says, you can watch porn in the bars. So that's why we have Hooters.
I prefer to create my own, but hey.
Yeah. Oh wait, so you're going to dance on the table then?
Oh no, private.
Oh my.
Ooh my.
Exactly.
No campaign room though.
So at this point,
check the board.
Yeah, at this point, you just got here, and you're going to be checking the board to see what's there.
Okay.
There are any number of bounty hunter jobs that you can take.
Okay.
And in fact, the way some of them read, it is kind of funny. Like you'll see one here, and it's like, okay, get this person. His name may be like Jax or something, and then like the next bounty down there is like, F you, go get this guy. Wanted for X amount more, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of that, like where people have picked up on like they've got bounties in their own head. Just like, fuck you, I'm going to pay more, something along those lines. So you've already gathered those may not be the safest to go after, just because it could be a spat,
Right.
But I mean it is licensed, so if you do end up capping somebody, they got to fork it over.
Okay. Anything catch my eye that might be something for my forte? I mean, that.
So scrolling through them, you find a couple, one of which is and it has air quotes literally on it. It's a delivery person. To and from, must own their own vehicle, preferably van or something that has a larger cargo space, and to make runs from Tucson to Phoenix. It specifically says pay good, has a couple dollar signs there, inquire within. Of course, it's cash pay. It says escalator clause, more well known, the higher, the more you're going to get, essentially.
Okay.
So the better the resume, the better chance you're going to get some greenbacks.
So, question: do I have a vehicle that my family lets me use then?
You can use the family caravan, which it is pea soup green, extended cab, complete with cassette tape, plus size station wagon. Think vacation.
All right.
You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
What a salesman, man.
Hurry on. This is not the one that I like to use to pick up chicks.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. Not unless they're like 60 plus and they're...
Oh, a bad taste in my mouth, man.
How grandma had time.
Wow.
But it's usable, and in this particular case, that's the only reason why you guys really have it. It's been refurbished like 15 times at this point. It must have 300,000 miles on it. But because it's an older engine, it's snap to find parts for it. It doesn't have a lot of electronics in it, like I said, cassette tape and whatnot. So replacing those things, nowhere near as problematic as the newer vehicles. It looks like hell. Doesn't run all that great. But with it being a station wagon, it meets your guys' needs. It's you can throw extra gear and equipment, or the kids if you want to go over bumps.
Okay, so I've got that. Then I guess I'll inquire within.
Okay, so there is a number included on that you can actually give a call to.
Okay. Break out the cell phone, give it a call.
Okay. So it doesn't come over with video. Just a number goes directly to voicemail, acknowledging the fact that this is a voicemail box for the particular job. If you're interested, give us your information and your qualifications, and we'll be in touch with you in 24 hours.
Okay. We'll leave them the voicemail.
Okay. Fantastic.
With my information and a little bit of info.
Okay. All righty. So as you're doing that, so Locke, you got here kind of early. You're just kind of a punctual guy, kind of like that ever since, your mom told you to. Yay, new follower. Thank you for following us. Hooray. Rusty Pumpkins, 108. Yay.
I think that's Misty
It was actually me because I had to register Twitch.
So thank you for following us, Missy. Yay! She's actually on the stream. Hi.
I tried to reply to the porn comment and I couldn't because I had to register.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, that's actually, and for those of you who may be like watching and want to, I actually put that up to deal with trolls. Obviously, it's a feature within Twitch because there are people that like to hop from stream to stream and just say obscenities about people or things, and it got kind of boring just trying to block them. And so most people don't want to hang around for at least a half hour, which you have to like the channel for a half hour before you can actually post. So.
Gotcha.
One person tried to get around that by coming up with a creative Twitch handle to just display up there, but it didn't work out. I laughed. But Locke, yeah. So one of the things that your mother ingrained in you: be early, on time. On time is late. So you always want to make a good impression. You kind of already knew you were waiting for a call from Mr. Ravenwood. So you already knew something legit was going to happen anyways, and you're waiting for a call, so being punctual really didn't matter. But he did emphasize waiting at like a specific table, which was unusual for him. And as you're kind of sitting there waiting, waitress gives you whatever drink that you're wanting. They sell Smash if you want it. Otherwise, you can get like the generic alcoholic beers. Smash is more of a narcotic. It will get you shit-faced pretty quick, and you have a high degree of chance to wind up suicidal after you come down off of it.
I gotta keep my edge, man. Ready for the ultra violence.
Yeah, you're like, fuck that. But then. So why don't you take a moment, Derek? Go ahead and describe your character, and then after that, Eric, why don't you go ahead and describe yours?
Okay.
And he holds up a picture.
No, roughly that. Kind of ruggedly handsome.
So kind of a Drake from Uncharted-ish, but a little bit more sci-fi.
A little bit younger than what's that?
A little bit younger, yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric?
I don't have a picture in mind, but he's modeled after, if anybody's familiar with Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2, actually. He's got cybernetics on his left arm and both his legs. He's kind of halfway into losing almost all of his humanity. He's like half in there, half out. But he's got a god complex for sure.
Okay. All right. But as you're sitting at your table and kind of awaiting this call, or why exactly you were told specifically to come here, you end up seeing a red-headed woman kind of almost kick the door open, come to this place, has a look of like, why the hell am I here?
Yes, bitch.
Yes, pretty much. And Jess, why don't you describe Hellcat for us?
So Hellcat is 27. She has had a very challenging, very rough life, especially in the last few weeks. It's been extremely rough, extremely emotionally exhausting, which I don't like, out of my control, which I really don't like. Basically, I've been spending the last few weeks trying to get gear and money for a personal project, and now I've been called here. I know it's good money, so I show up, but I'm really pissed off because I didn't want to leave where I was before I came here.
Makes sense.
Think average build, shorter side, so tiny but fierce, kind of, little dog syndrome. But with the power to back it up, I have my entire left arm, shoulder down is a cybernetic arm. That's the only cybernetics that I have, and that's not a fun story for how I got it, so we just won't talk about it.
Just like the droids we're not looking for?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So Mac, as you're kind of doing your thing, there's some, I won't say antics on the floor, but I mean, it's bustling. You know, it's, you know, people getting served, some louder folks off to the side. You do end up seeing this woman walk in with, you know, sort of that Kardashian look to her, you know, didn't want to be here, sort of thing. You too, Hellcat, you had a comment from Ravenswood as well, to go to a specific table and wait for a call. And as luck would have it, somebody is at the table.
Wonderful.
And he's doing the very obvious kind, just looking around, checking things out, sort of thing. He doesn't really seem to be, you know, embedded in a phone or anything of that nature. You know, he's just kind of chill.
Okay. So I approach. I don't bother approaching cautiously. I just am direct. And I am slightly confrontive, but I also have a feeling that this is not out of place, that he's at the table that I'm supposed to be at.
Okay.
And so rather than accuse him of being at my table, which I could, instead I give him a glance over and pose the question, Ravenswood, as a question.
It's the only DA that I know by name.
Did you get a call?
Yeah, I've got a call. I believe I got a letter too, but nothing else past that. Just waiting.
Fancy you got a letter. I extend my hand, trying to be polite. Hellcat, I got the same call.
Awesome. I didn't know anybody else was coming. You can call me Locke. Do you know of anybody else?
I don't know of anybody else, but I also don't know why we're here. I've done work for him in the past, but it's been a while.
Yeah, that much in common. I've done a bunch of work for him as well. I'd like to see how this pans out.
Okay. Right about that time, you end up hearing, so I had to put this, a god-awful squelching noise coming from outside.
Does it sound like pea soup green?
No, actually, it's not. Think if machinery could talk, if it was almost the scream of like rubber cables on the inside of an engine, but not just a squelching noise like "Oh my God, help!" sort of a sound.
Okay.
And then silence. And it actually caught the attention of everybody in the bar. Like everybody kind of just like almost as like a dog heard a noise, just kind of disturbing, like almost kind of like the hell was that? You know, and with good cause. Sometimes when things get jumpy, that means, you know, something may be outside coming in with guns blazing, and they want to be ready, you know. And speaking of which, everybody here is strapped.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At this point, Missy, you have finally made the trip here to the Steel Spur, where she told you to meet up. And you were even given the location, like the table or whatnot. But again, you don't have a whole lot of details outside of, you know, the DA seems to be behind this for some reason.
Okay.
You can, what's that?
Parks next to a green station wagon.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that would probably make sense because, you know, your car looks a little bit more modern than that, and people would probably gravitate to the nasty noise to, you know, this ancient monstrosity.
I'm definitely parking next to that. As I get out of my car, I'm gonna take a look around the bar just to make sure that I'm not being set up.
Okay. So good thing that you looked around. The bar on the outside, which is kind of common, you didn't know this per se, but those of you who have been here for quite a while would know this. Bars and pubs and whatnot that tend to be on the outskirts of the Badlands, or if you actually find them, way further out of town, they tend to embrace the Wild West motif. Reason being is when things fell apart in the United States and certain states fell into other regions, they kind of rebranded, quote unquote, the West to include Arizona. Texas falls in the West as well. However, they are an independent state. So when you think the West, it's like, Arizona, New Mexico, you skip over Texas, and then you've got, some of the other states beyond that. But that's kind of what it looks like. It is it does look like a rough and tumble. Maybe Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp might have been here, even though, it's more modernized. It is very clear that it says, come strapped, but if you pull, be prepared to be pulled on, as a warning out front. So people tend to keep it a little bit more lighthearted. The one thing Syntax did tell you is this is in this particular bar, even though it's closer to the border, is in gang territory. And the particular gang that's here, the Razor's Edge, is pretty nasty. So she gave you that as kind of a warning of like, just watch your back.
Noted.
And do you want to describe your character as you come walking in?
Rusty is overall pretty unremarkable looking, but that's by design. She's probably about 5'7", 5'8", with a mop of blonde hair on the top of her head. She's pretty gender neutral looking. She has just pants and a jacket on, and she's kind of got kind of a softer top underneath, but she keeps her jacket zipped up for modesty. In general, she's pretty skeptical and a little wary of most situations, just because of what she's been through. So after I take a look around the bar, I'm going to go ahead and walk in and observe the group at the table I'm supposed to be at before I actually get there.
Sure. Okay. They seem to be having some sort of a conversation, but first impression is they do seem to be apprehensive of maybe the situation or one another. They could be feeling something out in whatever conversation they're having. But it doesn't look like it's high fives and jokes and whatnot.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead up and walk behind the group and just kind of gesture to introduce myself. Hey.
Hey.
My name's Rusty. Where are you guys here?
I just came for a drink.
I may have come for a drink and maybe some opportunities.
And what kind of opportunities are you looking for?
Really? To be honest, I'm just looking for some opportunities to pay for that drink I'm looking for. How are you doing?
All right. What do you do?
I do things here and there, mainly working on bodies. What do you do?
I get stuff.
But like work on bodies, like cool sculpting.
Suddenly the game takes a turn towards Repo the Genetic Opera.
Am I hearing this?
Oh yeah.
Am I at the table already, or?
Yeah, you're not at the table. You were at the board, kind of looking at things, and you were seeing people like come in and clearly something's going on at this table. And you've heard opportunity bandied about like a couple of times.
So I'm kind of got my back to the table and I'm casually listening since perks my attention.
Okay.
I'm sorry to Rusty. I apologize. My name's Locke. I'm here. I'm not going to dodge questions. I'm here because DA requested me to.
Oh, thanks for
I'm here to get paid, pretty much.
Sounds good. Why are you talking about extinct technology though, man? That's kind of insulting.
You said bodies. I was just referring to that.
No, I got
I like old school technology. That's just rad.
And rad is life.
I'm gonna extend my hand. I'm Hellcat. Pleasure.
Hellcat, good to meet you. Again, Rusty. It looks like our attention's all on this Ravenswood guy. Do you guys know anything about him? Other than the district attorney part?
I've worked with him before. We ran a case a while ago. I helped him find a young girl who had been sold into sex trafficking. Got him the info, and in return, he got me into therapy to get over a drug habit that I had at the time. And now little Carlotta is somewhere off with her family.
Okay.
Dang.
I mean, that sets my mind at ease a little bit, but he doesn't make you do anything on the side for him or do anything that's maybe going to get yourself in trouble?
He's the only man that hasn't had me on the side, to be honest.
Okay. I mean,
But define trouble. Like if you mean getting shot at or something like that, I mean that comes with the job.
I just like to know what I'm getting myself into before I step in there.
I've been working with them since I was, I don't know, I think about 17, and it's been all over the place. But you can bet there'll be some shooting, but there'll also be a bunch of ducats at the end.
And good money. Good money.
I mean, money is money right now, man. Beggars can't be choosy. So I'll take it.
Yeah, interesting conversation there, Mac. They've talked about opportunity, quite a bit of ducats, and bullets. None of these things in your vocabulary you're really against.
All right. Turn around. So, looking for an extra?
Hey, there's this guy that was on the wall, but he just turned around and all of a sudden he's paying attention to us now.
I just can't help but overhear something about money.
We all need money, man. Are you handy with a gun?
I've been known to.
I mean, I don't have much money if you want to loan me some.
I'm okay to hang. I usually work by myself. This is all new to me here, but I think we maybe need to get some details on what's going on, what we're getting into.
Everyone needs family. Everyone needs friends.
I agree, man. Good to meet you. I'm Rusty.
Mac.
I'm Locke.
I don't know about all that, but pleasure to meet you.
Locke, interesting enough, given your background and the more emphasis on your rowdier time in your life, you actually have heard of Mac.
Oh, wow.
He's actually a nomad. Now, you don't know like much more beyond that, but he's one of the nomad families that moved into Buckeye not too long ago, and he seems to make runs into the city quite a bit.
Gotcha. Can I tell that by just looking at him?
He name dropped and by his rep, yeah.
Right on.
And then lock, your phone rings.
Well, all right, hold on, guys. Answer it.
Okay. And the video comes up. Hey, puta, what are you doing? It's your sister.
Snot comes out of my nose. Carlotta, what's going on?
Hey, what, didn't you get Mom's call?
No,
Come
what
on,
are you talking
dude.
about?
She's making dinner tonight.
Oh shit!
You're out with the ladies again, aren't you?
No, I'm with some friends. What's going on? I didn't get the message.
They're friends now. Yeah, right. Is it that 6-barrel chick again?
No, man, that's long history, dude. What's Mom making?
Well, dude, she's like breaking out the tomatoes this time, man. You remember that?
I do, man. That means
she just picked up some rosemary.
It sounds good, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it tonight, though.
What?
I'm
Who's gonna chase off the little pendejos that sit on the front lawn?
I will always do that. That just comes later. I will always take care of those dudes.
Hey, did you know one of those guys was checking out Mom?
That shit happens all the time, though, man.
No. I mean, like, I could see the mental undressing. Come on, man.
I don't need to hear this right now.
None of us need to hear this right now.
Do you think I want to? You're the one that's supposed to be, like, wrapping the knuckles upside their heads, man.
Oh, my God. Who is it? Who is this guy?
Oh, it's the little one. He calls himself El Jefe.
Fucking. All right, seriously, I'm making a mental note. I'm going to break his legs later. But I have some pressing business that's about to go down here.
Wait, you have pressing business? You're kidding me.
Sometimes I do. What do you think pays for all that stuff? How do you think we get rosemary and tomatoes?
Mom.
Oh, my God. You got some stuff to learn. Mom doesn't even have a job, yo.
She's got a job.
All right, man. Is that it?
What? Yeah, if you check your messages more often.
I'm sorry. I've
Okay, I'm going to tell you you're going to show up late.
All right, I'll try and be there.
I'll cover for you, but you better be here.
I'll be there. I love you.
All right. I love you too.
Yeah.
She hangs up.
You got a little sister?
You got a
That's my sister. Don't worry about it.
That's all right, man. Little sisters are great. I've got
Most
two.
of the time. Most of the time.
And then that's when your phone rings as well as Hellcat's simultaneously.
Mine?
No, Hellcats and Locks.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I answer.
Okay, I guess I'll answer at the same time.
Yep. So it's a joint conference call, and it is Mr. Ravenswood, and so you see his image kind of come up on your guy's screen. Then he says, "So I hope that the two of you have had an opportunity to meet one another."
Yeah.
Getting there. We're about to be friends.
Yeah, so he laughs a little bit. That's good. I was hoping the two of you would hit it off fairly well. I'm doing a little bit of an experiment. Normally, as you are aware, I don't pull separate agents into one another, but I think we're going to have to escalate things within the city, which will likely mean more steady work, and I'm sure you're interested in the additional money that's going to come with it. What the two of you are going to need to do is actually put together a small team. And I have a task for you to make sure that you work out the kinks. If the two of you are up for it, there is going to be about a $17,000 bonus at the end that you can split between however many individuals you've got.
Promising.
Interested?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Good. I figured you would be. As you are aware, there's been a growing concern outside of the town, in the Badlands specifically, towards the east. Tent cities popping up. Normally, this wouldn't be that big of a deal. Transients come into the city frequently, but there's really no reason for the transients to be here. Many of them seem to be claiming that they're coming here for work, which, as you are all aware, work is nowhere near as booming as 1,000+ transients showing up outside of town and into makeshift cities. Something is causing this artificial inflation. I need a group of individuals to look into that for us. Hopefully there will be no gunfire in this particular one. Obviously, we don't want to harm the transients in any fashion, and if we can find a better way to assist them, that would be better as well. Although it's not something you would need to deal with. If you could track down information and perhaps maybe interview a few of them, that would help, and I can take that back and see what I can work from my end. Primarily what I'm needing you for.
Hey, Jerome.
Yes.
Is this something? Is that something are we usually as nomads termed as transients, or is that something a little bit different? So they would be nomads or gangs or such. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't some sort of other thing referring to the influx of nomads or anything like that.
No. Yeah, because nomads have their own structure. So whether it's small or it's large, there's an identity that goes with it. The transients, on the other hand, these are all just like nobodies that just showed up. They're not related to anybody, and they all seem to be given the same story of like, hey, we're here for work.
How far east are we talking?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How far east are we talking?
We're talking roughly Apache Junction.
Okay.
And is that in Razor's Edge territory or just beyond?
Hellcat, that's actually a great question. To the best of our knowledge, no. I don't believe Razor's Edge has any interest in that particular area, primarily because it's so run down and there's just nothing there. But it is creating a health concern as well, as they have they have little in the way of water and food. Shelter is scarce. And with it, obviously, they are coming with potential disease. The city is concerned about a potential bioplague outbreak. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that that's rumor mill being drummed up to try and get police support, which if the police go in, they're going to break things up in a very harsh way. I need somebody to look into it and give me the hard details and facts. At least as much that we can get.
All right. I mean, it sounds easy enough.
So it is up to the two of you to find additional members, however many you think that you're going to need for this task. My recommendation, however, is to find somebody who can speak with some sort of an authoritative effort, medically speaking, so perhaps a doctor or a technician, and somebody that they might be familiar with.
Perfect.
Sounds
I
like
think we've got that handled.
What's that?
I was saying it sounds like this package is already rolled up for us. There's
really?
There's a dock here and a nomad, so we're good to go.
Well, that was fortuitous that I sent you there then. I will be your point of contact for this. Obviously, you would need to vet these individuals to see if they're going to be okay to be brought in on a more permanent basis, but I will trust your judgments.
Understood.
Also, Hellcat, I do understand that you are in a different predicament as of this point. So upon completion of the task, would you prefer that I transfer your share into, say, medical devices?
Yeah, I could use an EKG like no one's business right now.
Then I will go ahead and get that ordered. Upon completion of the task, I will make sure it's delivered to wherever it is that you need it to go.
You can be guaranteed this will be done then.
Well, rest assured, I didn't call thinking that you wouldn't be able to complete it. So I'm looking forward to the details that you can provide.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, with that, the call cancels.
Okay, guys, sounds like we got a job that's going to pay premium creds, and we got 2 spots open for just your skill types.
Okay.
Well, I'm in.
Awesome. That wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of argument, you don't feel a little weird about, 2 people of the exact skills you're needing being here in the same place at the exact same time? Are both of you cool with that? Everything seems okay?
If you guys got a heads up from our DA friend, or honestly, it doesn't matter to me. We got the call. I've worked with this guy since I was around 17. I trust him implicitly, but pretty much the way it is that we've got 2 spots that we needed filled, and you guys fill those nicely.
Have I heard of the DA?
Fair enough.
Yes, you have.
What have I heard through my major network?
Yours is more practical knowledge because you travel around a lot and not watch, TV or whatnot.
Right.
The 2 things that you know that have been attributed to him: 1, he cracks down on drugs like nobody's business.
Good.
Like, booster gangs hate him, and underworld crime really loathe him because of that. Like, he is very good about cutting through the red tape and getting directly to that. The second thing he's known for is he does not play around with corrupt cops. So if somebody's on the local is on the take locally and he finds out about it, he goes for full prosecution every time. So he in that. Obviously there's still corruption around, but if his name's attached to anything, the cops they treat it with kid gloves. They don't. If they're not doing anything, they don't want to be accused of something, and if they are, they give it a wide berth.
Okay. Seems like a legit guy then.
Yeah, that's what the general populace believes of him. He's been a district attorney for several years now because of it.
Okay. All right.
Can I step out to make a couple phone calls?
You absolutely can.
Okay, so I'm going to step outside the bar and not right by the front door, more towards the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call Syntax.
Okay. So you come walking up right next to this god-awful pea green station wagon looking thing. You're like, even as you're calling, you're like, my God, that's like 3 decades old. I think I saw that in a movie once. Damn. So you
Cassette
call.
deck.
Yeah, cassette deck. Nobody has those anymore. Do you have a pencil?
With Holiday Road on single.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. So you get a hold of Syntax. She comes online. She's like, "Well, hello, kitty cat."
Hello, lovely. I need you to run a background on a couple people for me as fast as you can.
I am absolutely happy to work, or I'm absolutely happy with that. Hold on a second.
Add it to the tab, baby.
So she says, she says, well, hold on one moment. There is the matter of the tab. Am I adding to your tab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have to work it out later.
I know, darn, huh?
Oh, shoot.
She says, okay, so give me names. Who are you looking into?
So all I've got for you is just call names, but you're going to have to do your best with the description I give you. I've got a nomad.
Why don't you take pictures?
Come outside the bar.
Okay, why don't you just pop in real quick and get a little bit of video feed on your camera or something. I can do some facial recognition.
Okay, so I'm going to step back inside.
Okay.
And to the best of my ability, do that without being noticed by the table.
Okay, so yeah, you see her kind of come back in, and she's kind of tilting her phone in a little awkward fashion. It could have been a difficult move in Candy Crush. You're not too sure.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're like.
All right, and when I got that, I'm going to step back out.
Okay.
I need as much info on these three as you can give me.
So, the first one I can tell you, she's good. Her name's Rusty.
Do you want to expand on that? Good at what? Good how? How good?
Well, then let me put an emphasis on this, and I think you'll understand. She's the most important thing in my life.
I can definitely understand that, especially given the last few weeks. All right, and the others?
The first one with the white hair, he is, so he's a solo. I think he's a Ronin, so I don't think he's corporate tied. I've seen him attached to a couple things. Most noteworthy, he got kind of caught up in a scandal with Shamrock Conglomerate. So he's been taking a lot of side jobs. He hasn't had a permanent gig for a while, I don't think.
I'm less worried about him because I know he's as involved as I am, but what about the Nomad?
So I recognize him. They've had some run-in with Knight's Call. And I'm looking at some police records here where it looks like there were some skirmishes. No one died. He apparently is, from what I can see here, maybe he's important to their clan. I don't have a whole lot because they tend to stay off the radar. But he's definitely Nomad.
And he's got the skills to back this up?
It looks it. I mean, if they clashed with Knight's Call and they didn't come away with anybody dead.
Well, I can't figure out how he has ended up here, but given your tone, did you set this up with Rusty?
I did set this up with Rusty. She needed
help out with what I need.
What's that?
So can I assume that she can help out with what I need on the side?
You absolutely can. That's one of the reasons why I directed her your way. I mean, it was selfish. I will fully admit, but I knew she could help.
Then you can do whatever you want as long as I get what I need.
Okay. I haven't talked to you since. How is he doing?
It's not good. I need an EKG, which I'm supposed to get after this job, but it's been 2 weeks. There's still some signs of life there. I felt his hand move today, but that's about it. And if I can't get him woke up soon, I'm more concerned that I'm not going to get back the him that I had.
Okay. So, game plan, figure out when this job starts. You know, I'll support as best I can. Get that money and let's figure something out.
Yeah,
I know if you talk to Rusty, she'll be in.
Good. All right. I'm going to end the call there and head back inside. I feel much more confident about the group at the table.
Okay.
And as a sign of good faith, I return with a shot for everyone.
Oh.
And propose a toast to our new adventure.
Okay.
While she was outside, talk with Locke and compare that number that I called to see if it was the same number that he got.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got the DA's number, or at least the number he uses, anyways. It doesn't match the number that Mac has.
Okay. Making sure.
Okay.
So you guys have wheels?
I have a bike, so
I got a bike too, but there's no way that I'm going to fit anybody else on it.
I can handle somebody on the back, but that's about it. Most of the time I run solo.
Why? What about you? Mm-hmm.
I got a car, but
Mhm.
my baby,
Mm-hmm.
she's a little loud.
Was that thing making that weird noise when he showed up?
That was the most distressed vehicle I've ever heard.
Just, I'm doing what I can.
I've
But-
never heard a car cry before.
With the bleeding out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
The little one had to say goodnight.
No problem.
Oh, good night.
Good night. But it's really I'm sorry guys, it's not the most inconspicuous of transportation.
Especially with those sounds. I mean, we can park and walk. We've got a ways to go. We're out by the Superstition Mountains, it sounds like.
Mine's a bit quieter.
What do you got?
Which one's yours?
Don't tell me. No,
Oh shit. Dude, you gotta be shitting me, man. For reals?
No. It's mine.
It's got room.
The only benefit to my vehicle is I have some specialized armor and a couple hidey spots. But it's not necessarily something we want to roll up in if we're trying to be stealthy.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know if we need stealth right off the bat.
Can I take a look at her car?
You sure can.
Here you go.
It's up to her. I mean,
You might. Was it her belt squealing?
Oh, so she pops the hood for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and pop the hood. Here, you go for it, man. Anything
Okay.
you can do, I would
So,
appreciate.
Derek, you're taking a look at it. So, give me a technical and hold on one sec.
A technical and what?
I'm looking it up. It's gonna be a repair. I'm just need a character sheet pulled up. Do. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we want. They actually don't have something like that on here. That's really dumb. You can pilot it, but you can't repair it. So give me a tech and basic tech,
Okay.
and then a D10.
And then just a tech, and then a basic tech.
Yes. So your tech stat, and then your basic tech skill, and roll a D10.
And a D10 each.
Yes.
Okay. The tech is going to be the first one. Ouch.
Oh shit.
Oh, so you got a 1. Okay.
On my tech, my basic tech is 6.
Well, no. You add it together.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna have. So you have. What's your tech skill? You have a 5. Okay, and then what's your basic tech?
2.
2. So you start off with a 7, and then then you roll 1d10. So go ahead and re-roll.
Come here, mouse. There we go. I hate these dice.
So
You gotta blow on them first, man.
So you got a 10.
Decent.
Yeah, so you end up getting a 10. You're looking at it. Whoops. There we go. Sorry about that. So you're looking at it, and it was average. You don't know what exactly is wrong with it specifically, but there is a part that feeds into the engine, like it's a cup link that has like 3 different cables. Think kind of like a spark plug setup, but that feeds directly into the engine, and that thing is like sheared off. And there is based on what you're looking at, there is no reason this thing should be running. None.
Is there anything? Anything I can see? You said it's like a wire that's cut.
Well, no, it's think like the way this engine is set up, because it's obviously more futuristic. But think like when you're looking at the spark plugs and how they have like a coil where they would all plug in together or whatnot. So think something along those lines, One of them, it has 3 cords that connect directly into the engine, and then that particular piece. So all 3 of them have it's been sheared, like something is just completely severed. They would have to be replaced completely. But based on that and knowing enough that this feeds something vital into the engine, there's no logical reason for this thing to even be running. Like if you saw this and didn't have the tools, you probably would have put a bullet in it.
Where did you drive from?
I mean, it really wasn't as far as you'd think it was, but it took me like 8 hours to get here, man.
Are you like from Utah or California or something?
No. I'm coming out of Phoenix.
And it took you 8 hours? Yeah, I'm surprised you got across the street.
Yeah. Is there anything you can do?
My grandpa's MacGyver.
Oh, he's going to use it. All right. So go ahead and roll at a +5.
That's a 10 off the top.
Okay, so you have a 7. So you have a 7 total, and you add 5 + 5 is 10. Wow. Okay. So do you have gum or electrician's tape?
That wasn't on the price list of stuff to get.
So we'll say
it wasn't. I didn't see anything like that.
No, yeah, it's fine.
And I wanted to have something like that. But
yeah, so you would. So we'll say at this point you've got some bubble gum on you.
Some bubble gum?
You've got some straight up bubble gum.
Sweet.
The nearly flavorless generic bubble gum, just there primarily for people who are trying to get over smoking.
Good enough. And it's stickier than all hell.
It is sticky, yes.
There we go.
Awesome.
So he just chews up some gum. He's got some baling wire, which makes sense somewhere, I guess. He attaches, the pieces or whatnot, and voila.
There we go.
Wow. What the fuck, man? How'd you do that?
I feel like we're all standing around saying, "What the fuck? How'd you do that?"
Yeah, what's going on?
It's like a family thing.
I mean, I guess being a wizard could be a family thing. So, all right.
Desert wizard.
Desert wizard, right?
So Locke.
Little monsters are good to eat as long as you eat the right parts.
So Locke and Hellcat, you both get some technical details on the tent city, and the expectation is that you will start tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And he emphasizes the big reason why is because people who show up at these places like at night are usually poachers.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't want to scare them off. He wants to try and get as many people to talk as possible. So. And then right after that, Locke, you get an all caps text from Carlotta.
I'm gonna check the text.
And it's, "Where are you?"
All right, guys. I gotta get split in here in a little bit, but we got a heads up from the DA. We need to roll out tomorrow morning, so we need to decide where we're gonna meet at before we head out.
I'm going to offer to let Rusty stay with me, considering we have a mutual contact. And I know that I have security at this time.
Yes. Okay.
How long does it take me to get to get home from here?
Given the condition of the roads, if you stick to the freeway, it's not bad because they keep them maintained. So half hour at best.
Does he? What side? You said he's at Buckeye.
He's west side.
West side. Okay, so he's not in the way that we need to go.
Right.
All right. So we still need to figure out where we're going to meet at in the morning.
Then another text.
Okay, I'm gonna check this other text.
Mom says, "Bring your friends."
All right, guys. I guess we're my mom's serving dinner. If you guys would like to come over.
Tomatoes?
How'd you know?
I heard it.
And oregano.
Amazing.
You guys got tomatoes?
All right. I said oregano, not mango.
No, tomatoes. You guys got tomatoes?
Yes, we've definitely got tomatoes.
Great. Thanks.
So
Yeah.
I guess let's load up in the split P mobile. I'll tell you how to get there.
Is my vehicle now running well enough that it doesn't sound like it's dying?
Oh yes, you actually note that there's an improvement.
Okay.
Actually, I'd rather
it's
take
still
my bike home.
sluggish and shit like you're used to, but it's nowhere near as like loud or problematic or whatnot. You actually have some power steering back.
Oh, awesome. I'll actually just go ahead and follow y'all if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my bike and just leave it there, so you guys can just follow me. But bring the cars.
Okay.
If you want to throw your bike in the back,
My bike will fit in the back of your car.
probably.
Oh, all right, let's do that.
Okay, if you want to do that, it's going to take some heaving and hoeing, but with cybernetics, you guys could probably lift up that hog and put it in the back of this god awful station wagon.
Good. The extra weight will keep the springs from springing and spranging.
All right. So, but at either rate, so Locke ends up taking you guys over to where he's at. The building looks kind of that he's taking you guys to looks kind of like a brownstone, a little on the beat up side, and unlike most of the buildings in this area, it is completely devoid of any sort of spray paint or tagging. And you see like the gang of four hanging out on your front porch, Locke.
Is that El Jefe bastard out there?
Yeah. they're listening to like music on a speaker at this point. When you come pulling up, there's like kind of grooving. This is their hangout spot.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up and ask where's El at?
And he's like, "So, what's going on, Locke?" He's like 16.
Oh man, I don't want to be a 16-year-old. All right, look, man, you're 16. I don't want to go to jail or whatever the equivalent is anymore for killing you, but I will kill you. Leave my mom alone. Get out of here.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your empathy. So it's going to be your active empathy, and then intimidation.
Where's empathy at?
Stat, it's up on the upper left-hand side of your character sheet. It's one of the only ones that has a slash next to it.
Okay, so that's literally 10?
Remember, you have cybernetics, though.
Okay.
And that will detract from it. So how much humanity do you have left?
5.
Okay, so that empathy trait will be a 5 plus your intimidation, and then a D10 roll.
Let's see. On a D10?
Yeah, on a D10.
9. It was 8 was the target number.
Okay, so you rolled a 9?
Yep.
So add them all together.
That was it. The empathy is at 5 in the wait.
So you rolled a D10 and you got what?
9.
Okay. So add your empathy, which is 5, and add whatever you have for your intimidation.
And that was 3 more.
Okay.
So 8.
So 9 plus 8.
Oh, okay.
How much is that?
Oh, 17. Sorry. I'm like trying to figure out what you're talking about. Yeah, 17.
That's 17. All right. That's not too bad. So he's like trying to shrug it off, like being cool. His 3 other friends are like, oh, hitting him in the shoulder sort of thing. Busted. He says, why do you got to do me like that, Locke?
Because she's my mom, and I'm tired of you sums coming around talking about how hot she is all the time. I don't need it. I don't want it.
But, dude, we're not saying you're hot.
No buts, man. I'm gonna crush your head in a second.
All
I
right,
need
all
you out
right,
of
all
here.
right, all right, all right. We're going. Man, Carlotta's a bitch, narking on us. They go, walking away, and the door opens up, and it is your mom. And as your mom opens up the door, they're like, "Hi, Miss Tyndall." And she's like, "Oh, hi, boys. I guess you have to go home." They're like, "Yeah, we guess we have to."
Mom, don't talk to these kids anymore.
She's like, "Oh, stop."
I brought my friends. Sis said that I could go ahead and bring him over.
She was making some sort of fuss that you were busy, so I figured there's enough to go around this time, so go ahead and bring them over. So she, steps forward. She's got long black hair, kind of done up a little bit, but comes down in tendrils. On the other side, she has visible tattoos on either arm that kind of come down sleeve wise. Otherwise, she's looking kind of business casual, dress wise. So she's got some slacks. She has, really short pumps, and has some glasses that are kind of tipped up, on her head. And she's like, "Hi." She says, "My boy knows better manners, but I'm Davina." And she, just extends her hand out to the first person, which would be Derek.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, your name?
My name is Matt. Excuse me.
And she swats Locke for that.
Whatever.
And she, extends her hand both to Jessica and Missy as well.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Hellcat.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Rusty. Thank you for your hospitality, ma'am.
Oh, you are welcome. Everybody come on in. Locke knows better. He should have introduced everyone, shouldn't you?
I was busy talking to those young gentlemen outside.
Yeah, okay.
I was getting around to it.
Sure. So she holds the door open for everybody and coming inside. It's not a big place. It is actually a 2-bedroom, but it's think 2-bedroom New York wise. So you can fit 2 people in there, or a family of 4, but it'd be really tight. The place on the inside is very well decorated. All repurposed stuff. So nothing like, really expensive or whatnot. There's several pictures up on the walls. There's one specifically of Locke in a uniform, kind of like doing one of these numbers, like he's like all proud. And his sister and his mom are on either side going. And you can actually, at the moment you come in, you can smell the fresh food, which, it's a big deal because it's actually fresh food. So she's, got some pre-packs over there where she's, instead of just nuking them, she's actually cooking them, by hand, which is giving a nice aroma. It smells kind of like a mashed potato, and there's some spices kind of thrown in there that you smell. Nothing kibble-ish, whatsoever. Maybe there's some green beans, floating around in there somewhere. So then from the back of this, of this house, right in front of the TV, you see some girl kind of flop up, on top of the couch, and she's like, "So, Locke, who are your? Oh, hello." And she's smiling at Missy and Jessica specifically. She's like, "Hi."
Hello, I'm Rusty.
Hi, I'm Carlotta. Which, speaking of which, you see that she has some very elaborate tattoos on, primarily around like her back and arms.
Jerome, do I realize who she is?
Probably.
So
It's been a while.
I am fairly certain that I know her, and because of that, I don't say anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
I greet her, and as we're all standing around making pleasantries, I glance at the pictures on the wall and see pictures of a younger her,
Mm-hmm.
and put two and two together and realize who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know who I am, does
No.
she?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, she does not.
Okay. So that changes my demeanor slightly. Less relaxed, slightly anxious, but still pretty okay.
Okay, not a problem. And so as she, as she says hi and, clearly distracted by the two ladies, her mom comes by and swats her in the ass and says, go set the plates, hurry up. She's like, okay, fine. She, scurries off real quick. She's fully dressed, but she's, got the comfortable socks on, and no shoes. So she pads over to the kitchen real quick to go, set up the plates and the silverware and whatnot. She says, so how was work, son?
Work was all right. I did just have the meeting today. We're gonna get some stuff done tomorrow, though.
Okay, good. So Mr. Ravenwood is probably going to be giving you something for me, just to let you know. So,
Okay.
when he does, just bring it home.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about that at all, but I'm not sure when I'll be seeing him next, but I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
Okay, no, he had me place a bet for him. He can't do that sort of thing like
What?
directly. You know what? No, it wasn't a big deal. But he won some. He won something, and I'm actually getting a share of it. So.
Good for you, Mom.
I mean, it's only 2,000, but it helps out.
All right. That sounds pretty awesome.
She says, so what do your friends do? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being nosy. Do you mind? I mean, I'm always interested to see, the people who interact with my lock.
Go ahead, Hellcat. Tell her what you do.
At this point, I am even more anxious to open my mouth. I'm a fixer. I help people fix things. It's challenging to talk to her because of the situation, because of the history. I do my best to not look like an idiot.
Okay.
But I kind of end up just rambling a little bit about what I do, not really going in depth.
Sure. She says, oh, so you know people who know people that help do things and get the information. I got it. Okay, that sounds useful.
I quickly interject because I see Hellcat kind of struggling with her anxiety, and I'm kind of wary at her shift in demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump in and, I'm a doctor, and I help work on bodies and stuff like that. So that's basically what I do.
No, that's very beneficial. Are you with like a trauma team, or are you just like?
I used to, I've dabbled in trauma, I guess you could say. So yeah, I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Is there something you used to do before you were a homemaker?
Yes, actually, I was a financier, but unfortunately, the job market turned, and there was a hostile takeover. Emphasis on the hostile. So I no longer work there.
I am still off, but out of curiosity to hear what she says, I bring up Ravenswood.
Okay.
I've heard her drop the name, and I politely ask how she's connected with him, her involvement with him.
Oh, she's like, oh, there's not a big connection or anything. I just know of him through Locke. Locke apparently met him, a while ago, and so he reached out to me for for this. Nothing major.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is. And so she's like, nudging Locke at this point. She's like, Dr. Quinn, medicine woman over here.
I do what I can.
You're so modest.
And so, Mac, what is it that you do?
I'm a family man.
Really? So, like,
He fixed Rusty's car with some gum earlier.
Let me tell you, he did an amazing job, by the way.
She's like, wow, that's impressive. So, like, family, do you mean like mafioso or just like real family?
No, real family.
Oh.
Real family. No, I'm not affiliated with the mob in any way.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Locke says that you are a good cook.
She waves her hand. She's like, oh, I do the best I can.
I'm sure you're very well skilled from what he says. My mother loves to work with fresh vegetables when we have the opportunity.
She says, well, I have a small little garden that hangs off the second story floor. So I get, tomatoes occasionally, and I have a little rosemary plant and basil plant and whatnot. So I do what I can. Otherwise, it's really expensive.
It's amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
And with that, you hear a ding, and Carlotta's already passing out the plates and whatnot. Hellcat, give me a here we go. Give me an empathy and human perception check.
Okay, don't kill me, but I don't have my sheet. It's in the other room. I can go and grab it if you don't have it.
Let me see. Well, I mean, I have it. I just need to. Here we go. Track it down.
Sorry.
There'll be a task next time.
Okay. I'll get it on the break, I promise.
Okay, so your active empathy is going to be 7.
Okay.
And your human perception is nothing.
Okay.
So roll a d10.
That didn't work. How do I work this thing?
So you got a 5.
There's an icon on the left side of your screen that has a dot on it.
Yes.
And you can click on it.
That's what?
It kind of looks like a peace symbol. It's really grayed out. You see it?
Yeah.
It's a.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I got a 10.
So you rolled a 10?
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
nice. So plus your 7, that's 17. That's actually a pretty good roll.
The dice are feminine.
What's that?
The dice are feminine.
Oh, yeah. Quite possibly, because it did kind of roll crappy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So at any rate. So as you get a good look at Carlotta as she passes by and the tattoo work, you recognize the ink style. Jillian had something very, very similar.
Yeah. So as we all sit down to eat, I sit next to Carlotta.
Okay.
And I mention her tattoo. That's a beautiful piece. Where did you have that done?
So she takes her strap down to on her top to show you that more of it anyways, and she says, "Actually, no, I did this."
Oh, well.
She says that it's my job. It's what I do.
I feel like I've seen your work before. It's gorgeous.
Oh, have you? Did you know who it was?
She's a close friend of mine. I don't mean to come off guarded, but I'm extremely guarded regarding the situation, so I don't give her the name.
Oh, no problem. Okay. No, it's cool. I was just curious because, I had a run of Quinns that came in recently that wanted custom artwork done. They really like how I do Harley Quinn. So
No, this was a green English dragon, quite large.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Then, yeah, I had fun with that one. That was her idea that she fed to me, and then I kind of drew it conceptually. It took about a day or so to get everything together.
It's beautiful. I commend you on your work.
Well, thank you very much. You should come by the shop sometime if you want. Some ink. We can work on a special price or something.
I'll have to do that. It sounds weird when I say it, but I say something along the lines of, "I'm glad to see you've done so well in life."
Thanks. I try. I mean, it's idle. What's the term, Mom? And she says, idle hands do the devil's work, mija. And so she's like, okay, that. And she says, but I just found that I needed to stay active, and I guess I have a creative streak, so it's my anti-drug.
Always good to have one of those.
Yes. And with that, you guys, start eating. It is the first time that you've had any sort of fresh food, and in some cases, maybe ever. And the taste between prepackaged and kibble it's not even comparable. It's absolutely fantastic.
Brings a tear to my eye.
Okay, and with that, as you guys are finishing up the dinner at Locke's mother's place, we'll go ahead and hit pause here temporarily, so in case anybody has to do anything, and then we'll be back in about 10 minutes for the rest of the invasion of Tent City.
Sounds good.
All right, so we'll be back in just a few. All right. So we are now back. Thank you all for tuning in, those of you who are watching. We had a lot of fun so far. Just as a brief recap from from before the break, the group has just recently met up. They realized that they have some things in common. It was fortuitous, the meeting, because some of the roles that they needed were actually something that were being looked for the job. And they've had fresh food, in some cases for the first time ever. And they've met Locke's mom.
Otherwise known as Marissa Tomei.
Pretty much. All right. So with that being said, after the dinner, as a bit of a flash forward, Locke was already where he could stay if he wanted to. Mac went back to his encampment, and I'm assuming that Rusty went with Hellcat.
I'm going to try and talk to Hellcat about the change in demeanor that I noticed at dinner. So yes, I would like to follow her.
Okay, sure. So then we can do that real brief. So then she ends up showing you to it's another older building. It is smack dab in the middle of downtown. However, it's the Orpheum Lofts, if you're familiar with it out of character. It's been revitalized probably about 15 or so years ago. So it's not in disrepair, but it's not high-end, high-tech, ritzy rich sort of thing. And she shows you to actually a very well-kept flat. Hellcat, have you been keeping up on the maintenance, or are you just kind of throwing stuff wherever they fall?
No, I have made sure to keep everything in tip-top shape.
Well, okay. So she has done her best. The floors are swept and mopped. Nothing's out of place. Plates and cups are clean. I mean, it looks almost like a model flat if people wanted to come in here and show it off, for rentals and whatnot. So the two of you are now at her place.
Well, come on in. Make yourself at home. Try not to make a mess.
Generally pretty good at keeping myself pictured, but I really appreciate it.
Sorry, that came off really rude. I don't mean to be rude. It's not my place. So I really try to keep things the way I found them.
Understandable. Hey, is everything okay? I noticed you looking a little strange at dinner. Do you know, Carlotta, is there something that maybe I should know for my own safety with this Locke character and his family?
Not for your safety. There's history there, but they don't know it. I mean, I can tell you my side of things. I have no connection to it. I got this job. I got the connection I did with the DA because he hired me to go after some kid. And it turned out to be some girl that had been sold into sex trafficking. And I can't stand that kind of thing. That kind of business is just, I don't tolerate it. And when I can do something about it, I do. And I got hired to find this kid, and I went after her, and I found her. And I came back to Ravenswood and told him, yeah, all right, so I know where this Carlotta kid is, and reported it, and he paid out. And I was definitely desperate at the time, and it was worth it. And to see her today was just amazing. To see what she's become was just incredible.
Okay. That I mean, it makes sense with your reaction and whatnot. So I appreciate you being candid with me. So thank you, and thank you for your hospitality.
You know, they clearly didn't know my name, so what am I going to say? Yeah, I found you when you were a kid and made sure you got back home. Like, I don't need their thanks. Seeing her was enough.
Yeah, I'm in the court of maybe letting sleeping dogs lie, so I'll feel you there. Thank you.
You know, I know that Syntax sent you to me.
Wait. Okay, you and Syntax talked about me? What how close are you with Syntax exactly? I'm sorry, I that may have sounded very abrupt, but I'm just interested.
I'm interested to know what the fuck is going on. I was referred to Syntax. She walked me through the last job I had, and the next thing I know is I have a new job, and suddenly you're at my new job. And I call because she's my information. And
She's good at that.
and she tells me she sent you to me, that I can use you, and I can.
She did mention that you were a good person. So if there's something that I can do to help you, I would be happy to for her.
She has a high opinion of me. I can say that. After this job, we do what we need to do, and I get that EKG, yeah, I'm gonna need your help. I got a buddy that needs a doctor like another, and I need equipment to do it.
Okay. All right. So after this job, let's make a point to get together and see what we can do.
Let's get it done.
And is that good for the night?
Good me.
Okay. So we'll assume that you guys came up with a local place to meet up at, in specific, since it was something you wanted to do, but we didn't get a chance to discuss it.
We can meet at the casino.
You could do that. Would you guys like to meet at the Rattlers Cove Casino, formerly known as Casino Arizona?
Yeah, that's on the way.
Yeah, that's by my house.
Sure.
Okay. Like inside or just the parking lot?
I don't know.
If you guys don't if I don't make it there as quickly as you all, feel free to, peruse some gambling tables while I'm on my way.
Did you not ride with me?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ride with you then.
Yeah, you're gonna ride with me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
gonna get there on time.
All right, we're gonna get on time.
All right. So we'll assume that you just met up in the parking lot. There's no reason to really go inside at this point, and it's on the way. So, and you have, I mean, it's not like you really need directions per se, but I mean, you have a rough map that was drawn up that's got some circles around it. It was uploaded electronically so you could get an estimate of the area. Also sent with the crude little map were some snippets of police records. And you note that one of the records, on one of the records, somebody having to look into it. One of them was obviously the bioplague investigation. Came up inconclusive. Another one was concerns of violence and like trespass and just penny ante things. A lot of them coming up, inconclusive or dealt with outside of court. Not. I mean, it's a matter of they're more of a public nuisance right now. There is a name, however, that keeps popping up on this particular investigation, and his name is Detective Jensen. Detective Gunnar Jensen.
You've got to be kidding me.
What's that?
You've got to be kidding me.
Do I hear you say that?
I wasn't supposed to be in character, but sorry. It just like light bulb moment. Sorry.
Son of Beach.
Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, I may as well have said that in character, so
Okay.
sure.
So I look at her and I'm like, elaborate, please.
I know a guy.
I'm assuming he's a pretty bad guy if you're talking about him like that.
He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I am the last person that he's gonna want to see.
Good to know. So maybe let's limit your involvement. Maybe yeah, well, I guess we'll get to that, but any particular reason he doesn't want to see you that we should at least know about?
Well,
Will it be dangerous for us if he knows that you're with us?
no.
That sounds like a question.
Look, the last I saw Gunnar Jensen, he was strung out, playing video games, and I left. Okay? I don't know how he took that, so.
Is he involved in the trade?
No, he's just a dumb cop with a habit.
So other than being butthurt, it's not going to be really that big of a deal. Oh man, here comes another question.
Shouldn't be.
All right.
Well, we're assuming that you have this conversation just outside of the camp at this point. It's pretty open range where they're at. And in fact, if you want a kind of a visual, if you've been out that way, like you're going to Ren Fair or whatnot, there's that intersection right there where they had like a small strip mall, which is a couple miles before the Ren Fair.
Okay.
That's where it's at. None of the shops here are in operation or whatnot, but they've got dozens of tents set up in the parking lot. Several, many more on the other side of the road. And so they've kind of turned this old shopping center that's pretty dilapidated and kind of converted it into their own little area. You can see that there's a couple tents in here where they're trying to do some sort of commerce, but it's obviously not through credits. Derek, you're very familiar with this sort of thing. This is just folks just trying to barter, for things.
All right.
But it is condensely populated out in this area.
Is this the Vagrant?
Yes.
Kind of. I mean, were we supposed to meet somebody here, right?
No.
No.
Conduct an independent investigation. Just get as much information as you can. And as he emphasized, hopefully there's no gunfire. His primary concern is to find out, what's happening here and try to figure out why this false inflation of, transient individuals are being brought in. Because there's at this point, there's no logical reason, and there's a bunch of them.
Okay. I'll start cruising around. Maybe talk to a few people.
Okay.
I fit in.
You do. You look the part, including your car. Okay, so Derek, why don't you give me an empathy? And let's see, are you playing nice or are you?
I'm playing nice. If I happen to see a pretty girl, I might.
All right. So why don't you do empathy and persuasion and fast talk? So you're going to add your empathy and any score that you may have under persuasion and fast talk, and then roll 1d10 and add all that together.
Okay, so say that one more time. My empathy.
Your active empathy, which I don't even think you have cybernetics. So
no.
Your empathy, and then your anything that you might have for persuasion and fast talk.
How about seduction?
You can go around trying to seduce people if you want to.
Also, I said if there was pretty girls.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you're going to try and seduce them, though, that's a potentially different outcome. But yes, you can absolutely do that. Would be an interesting investigation, however. Walking around, hey.
I mean, there's porn in bars, so.
Yeah, there is porn in bars.
All right. Well, I don't have any human perception, or fast talk, but
okay,
just empathy then, right?
Sure.
Boom, 18.
Wow, good job. So that is a pretty good roll, especially given your dice pool there, what you have. So they seem to be more receptive to you because you look the part. Yes. The future where every bar is a titty bar. Pop your titty out his mouth and stop babying him. But you kind of make the rounds. You already kind of knew where to go because the setup is very similar to what you're familiar with. It's just kind of people catch as you can, set up shop or get the best quote unquote property,
Right.
In talking to a few people, you're still hearing the same thing. They were told there's jobs. Now that they're here, they're finding out there really isn't. So some of them have taken to hunting in the surrounding area.
Like game?
Yeah, trying to. So obviously, game around in this area is very scarce given the population that they've got. They're down to bugs and gophers, and not a whole lot of the gophers. They're primarily lucking out with like scorpions and shit like that. Somebody from the city did bring some humanitarian effort out at one point, but it was chaotic.
Right.
And so some of the stuff went, all over the place. And that food source that they brought out here, which it was all kibble, has already been, they've already gone through it all. They didn't have nearly enough for the amount of people that are here. And something else you're finding out is there is a suspicion that people are disappearing. Now, they're not sure if, and here's the problem, because there's so many and it's so desperate for, really anything, they don't know if they just left.
Right.
And,
is it adults? Is it male, female?
There's no discerning factor to it. It's just people in general.
Okay.
The only thing that they are aware of is like their things aren't taken with them. So that's why they kind of think that they may have been taken, because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if you make the trip all the way over here, then just dump your stuff and go where.
Right.
So, but nobody's been able to prove it, and it doesn't seem to be happening a whole lot. So that's why it's kind of, they're suspicious of it.
Is there any, is it the lowest of the low, or is there any discerning commonalities or anything else like that may point to a specific type, or I don't know?
They haven't narrowed down anything of that nature. like age, sex, location, race, or whatever. They do know it's happened. It has recently happened within the past 5 or so days.
Okay.
And the other thing that you do here is some of the people are spooked to go out from the camp at night. They've heard ghostly sounds out on the plains.
Coming from what direction do they point? Can they point me out in that direction?
A bit south from here, so a little bit closer towards Mesa-ish. But Mesa is really, really wide.
Okay. Would some basic tracking be included in wilderness survival?
Yes. Yes, it would.
After I get done scoping some stuff out, I'm going to go or talking to a few people and that. I'll start walking around a little bit and see if I see anything that in that area.
Okay.
That other than just basic traffic.
Sure. Okay. Are you going to advise anybody what you're doing? Have anybody go with you, or?
Knowing this area, knowing this type of area, what would look the strangest? What would be the most out of sorts, and what would be the most common? I mean, would the two women being together, or would it make more sense to have like I'm just looking at it like, if I were to take Hellcat and leave the other two, or vice versa, like take Locke and leave the girls.
Actually, that's a very good question. The commonality speaking, because this is kind of like your people in that sense. 2 women together probably would be targeted.
Would be targeted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that could range anywhere between sexual harassment, or if there's more disreputables in there, they might. It doesn't mean that they can't handle themselves. You just know that when shit goes sideways like that with large groups like this and the whole gang group thing,
right?
Pretty women tend to be one of the quickest ones targeted, as well as Weasley looking guys.
Okay. One of you guys want to come with me? I'm gonna be checking out the south end over here, see if we can find some tracks and see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go because I want to talk to the people about the ghostly sounds that they've heard.
Okay.
I'm game.
Stick together, you two. This I don't want you guys going around separate, because they'll single you out, especially you.
Yeah.
So.
I'd rather not be by myself anyway. But if you want to go, Locke, if you want to, maybe we can look at some contacts. Maybe I can offer some medical advice to maybe some of the transients. That might be a gesture of goodwill, so we can get some information.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down. Let's go shake a couple of people down.
Well, that was information that the DA was trying to get anyways. So any sort of medical information you can pick up off these guys with your medical scanner and just doing it spot on.
I haven't seen any signs, like in my wanderings out, of anybody, or heard anything about any type of discernible plague or sickness or anything like that, have I?
No.
Okay.
No, but the bioplague, think AIDS during the 80s.
Okay.
Like how that, like, if you even knew one person, it was like blown way out of proportion, and it was like, holy shit, the Black Plague. And bioplague was very similar. Bioplague, when it hit bad, and it wiped out a lot of people. So now it's the boogeyman of
what is the contagion? What is the contagion? Is it airborne? It's
airborne.
Airborne?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's beautiful. Okay. Well, Hellcat and I are gonna go and scope this out and see if we can find out some more information, and quite possibly I'll see if I can find some discerning tracks or anything along those lines. We can't figure it
So why don't you both go ahead and roll? It's gonna be wilderness survival and Damn it, I'm having a hard time finding this stuff.
I have awareness notice too.
It's under intelligence. So roll intelligence and wilderness survival.
Okay.
I definitely don't have wilderness survival.
That's okay. You're still another pair of eyes.
Okay. Intelligence is my first one. Wilderness survival is my second.
Well, you don't remember. You don't roll twice. You're gonna add them.
Okay.
You're gonna add them together and then roll once.
I got 9.
And what was your intelligence, Hellcat?
No, I mean, like, my roll was 2 plus my intelligence, so I got 9.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. So.
Oh, you added the 7 already?
Yeah, I did an advanced roll.
Oh.
Yeah, you can do that in this and roll 20 as well.
So it's not like it was something I knew.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally clicked that trying to get back in.
That was my roll.
Oh, okay.
Go again.
Okay, let me. Okay, this is my legit one. So I'm rolling 1d10, correct?
Just 1d10, yes.
There we go.
Oh, you rolled a 1.
My roll is better.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
That's all right. If I'm going off of awareness and notice and wilderness survival and my intelligence?
No, it would only be your intelligence or wilderness survival. And you rolled a 1, so that is a botch. So go ahead and roll another d10 for the severity of said botch. A 5. Okay. So you guys go walking out there and looking just in general. You must have gone about a mile into just the desert. You're not really finding anything. You're finding some sand dunes, some crabgrass, some tumbleweeds here and there. And you duck down to the ground to see, picking up something to see if you found something, and damn it all, Derek, you end up getting stung by a scorpion.
Oh my gosh!
It's like, ow, shit.
Shit.
Good news is you got a med techie nearby, so you should be okay. And the fact that you're a nomad, you would know if you wanted to push it and keep checking, you've got some time.
Well, I do have my first aid kit and snake bite, which I would assume might have something like that in there.
You could sure try that.
Considering the fact that that's what it's geared for, is my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. So would you rather do that than take a moment to treat the wound?
Yeah, I might as well.
Okay. So for first aid, it's going to be roll your tech. So you add your tech, your first aid, and then a D10 roll.
Add my tech plus my first aid.
Yeah.
Plus the D10.
And then a D10 roll. Mm-hmm. And Hellcat, while you're at it, give me another, in this case, intelligence check. Or actually, awareness, sorry. So for you, Hellcat, give me, you're rolling for awareness. So at this point, you need intelligence and awareness notice. Okay, and Derek, what'd you get?
On screen or on paper?
So you rolled
I'm using my dice from now on. I rolled a 10. I really did.
All right, so you get out your kit, and it's hurting a lot more than you anticipated, and you flinch and you drop your stuff on the ground.
Bastard.
Thankfully, it's not drastic. It's just, and you know what? She's looking around. She didn't see. You can pull this out. You can man it up. She didn't notice. She's looking around for something else.
Good enough.
Yeah, that's the important part.
What's that?
thing.
He said that's the important part.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, meant to do that. And so what did you get, Hellcat?
6.
So you rolled a 6?
No, I rolled a 2 plus 4 is 6.
Oh, but you have intelligence as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would hope all those didn't add up to 6.
No. Awful. No, sorry. So I've got 12.
Okay.
No, 13. Oh my gosh. My math. Oh,
So you see something flapping in the wind that just catches your eye because it's moving, with the wind, but not like these tumbleweeds and shit.
can I grab it?
Whatever it is seems to be thin and it's a little ways away. And Derek, at this point, you're getting at your wound. It's just taking you longer than you anticipated because this time you're really making sure you get it treated. Hellcat, you walk up to to whatever it was that was kind of flapping in the wind. It's a part of a dress.
It's a part of a dress?
Mm-hmm.
How do I know it's part of a dress?
Based upon the pattern, well, not the pattern, I should say, but based upon the hem and the type of cloth used. I mean, it could have been an apron, I guess, but those tend to be a little bit more durable cloth.
What color is it?
It's a flower print.
Okay.
You got something?
Yeah, I mean, I found a piece of dress.
I mean,
don't know where that came from.
It's pretty big. I want to say it's like, well, you can't really see my camera, but I mean, it's like this. It's a good chunk.
So I'm gonna turn it on and hold it up.
Okay.
Found a dress.
Well, I guess we're in the right direction. Can I mean, obviously we're making our way. You say we're about a mile out.
Mm-hmm. Give me another or it's not intelligence, is it? Yeah. 1 second.
Intelligence is my awareness.
Yeah, so it's intelligence and wilderness survival.
Okay.
Give me another one of those rolls.
6. It's a hell of a lot better than 1. And so it's awareness plus my wilderness.
It's just your intelligence and then your wilderness survival. So add those two together and then whatever you have for your D10.
Okay, so intelligence is 10. My wilderness survival is a 5, so I got 21.
Nice. Okay, so immediately when you see that, you kind of came to your senses from the whole sting. You realize the wind is moving from west to east.
Okay.
And having traveled from this area, there's shit out here. So there's no logical reason why, even if this blew off of the transients, this would be out here. If this came directly from the transient camp, it would be much further east.
Right. It wouldn't make its way north or south, I mean.
Right.
Well, something's come through here, whether it's this way or slightly west of us, then there's definitely something going on here.
How close are we to the mountains?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, what's the general area as far as landscape? Are there mountains or hills or anything like that?
There is, yes.
Coming up?
From the camp, there are some low range mountains along the north. Here, it's mostly flat land and just broken up.
So we're looking south of the plains then.
Jerome.
Yes.
Do I have cell phone reception?
Very good question. Out here, you do not.
So from where we're at, the superstitions are out to the east of us?
No, you guys are near the Superstition Mountains at this point.
Okay.
That's the mountain range, if I recall, that's out by Ren Fair, right?
Yeah.
So those are the mountains you're looking at that are north of your position.
Okay.
What the hell's out here?
I have a suspicion. I just did a job in Phoenix, and in South Mountain there was a facility. I couldn't tell you what they did. I don't know, but I got in and we got a girl out of it. I can't confirm that there's one in the mountains out here, but there's a lot of things that point to this.
Where's this facility comparative to where we're at now?
It's west of us.
Almost due west?
Yeah.
It's very viable considering the way the wind's blowing. And
the other thing that caught my attention is when we were talking about what some of these transient people had reported. They reported, ghostly sounds. Well, in the last case I worked, that was one of the things we had to follow up on, were these ghostly sounds, these ghostly whispers that came from a video file. And it turned out to be that when an AV4 flies low to the ground, if it flies low enough, that's the sound that it emits.
And so to let you guys know, an AV4 is, for all intents and purposes, it's a hover van. It's a stylized hover van, and it's very popular with like security forces, medical technicians, and whatnot. And Hellcat, remember, that was a specialized one. It was supposed to be a stealth variant.
Yeah. And
when it got close to the ground, it made those noises because it was just really close to the ground.
Is there any weird sort of tracks that I see here that would?
Both of you go ahead and add your intelligence and awareness notice, and then a D10 roll as you guys are investigating the area.
Boom, 8.
18 total.
Nice.
18 plus 5 is 23.
Nice. So as you guys are kind of looking around, as you realize the wind is probably playing a factor, and whatever's doing this may be coming from the air, you kind of expand your radius a little bit around from where that tear was at. All of the dirt that's in this area is brushed outward, which is totally uncommon for wind. It would be brushing it again from a west to east sort of pattern.
Single direction, and it's like it's down and blowing out.
Yes.
Something landed here.
I'm telling you. So we need to reconvene so that everybody can hear this.
Yeah, let's head back, because what time is it getting to be? Is it still midday?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you still got plenty of daylight. You guys came here in the morning, so you're looking at maybe 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. So
at this point, I feel confident enough to go back to the transient camp, get what information we need from them, and leave.
Okay.
So Missy and Eric. So you guys are making your way around. Eric is kind of playing the role of a bodyguard to the med technician. And I mean, she instantly has credibility because she's got the appropriate tools. So they don't really pay heed to either one of you. All of them are very willing to open up because you're obviously there to, check their health. And in some cases, they just want to know to make sure if they're doing okay. So Missy, why don't you go ahead and give me? So at this point, you are going to be rolling your medical tech. As well as your intelligence. So add both of those together, and let's see what you get with the D10 roll.
All right.
So 19 total. Not bad at all. Okay. So the first thing you notice, obvious malnutrition. It is widespread throughout the camp. There are some issues, minor issues with things like gingivitis, which you would, also expect. You're noticing there's a couple people here with scurvy, which is indicative of obviously not having enough to eat as well. There is, in some cases, some severe dehydration. There are a couple people here with some flu-like symptoms, but nothing out of the ordinary. Looks like it's probably the common flu, which the transients have been pretty good about. If you've got the flu, please go hang out over there. Try to, so they're trying to do self-management as best as possible. You have picked up on a couple of people here that have damaged or otherwise malfunctioning cyberware. Nobody here has any major cyberware. You don't see any full conversion boards or anything of that nature. But it's clear, like the couple you talked to, maybe they're transient because they lost everything. So at one point in time, they may have had money, and so they're in dire need of a technician, to fix that up. You don't have the tools to do it on the spot, but you recognize, with a couple of tweaks, they'd probably be okay, but they haven't had the ability to actually even get that. The ones that you kind of casually talk to as you're kind of doing spot checks, one of them tells you and confirms that they heard some sort of ghostly sound not too long ago out on the plains. So people tend to stay really close to camp. She did end up, the one you're talking to, she hasn't admitted to it to anybody. She's only admitting to you because you're actually, tending to her and making sure she's okay. But she lets it slip that she heard a fight in the camp at one point. And at first she thought it was just like a couple. I mean, sometimes things get loud like that when couples fight and sound carries, so she didn't think anything of it at first, until she started hearing a muffled scream. And she waited about 15 or 20 minutes and then went over to the tent, and the lady that had been there was no longer there. What she did find, however, was a piece of like a torn card that didn't seem like it belonged. Like something may have gotten torn up and left behind. And so she picked up the piece and took it away. And you swear it looks like a business card, but it's only like the end piece. So it's going to take some work to figure out like what the hell did this come from.
So at this point, when I inspect the business card, I can't tell any numbers or...
No. There's a design on it. Like the corner you got, there's a design. So if you could, or I should say part of the design, if you can get access to a database or find somebody who can like kind of facial recognition it, but, match it up, either way, it's going to take a while. But if you can identify the pattern, you could probably identify the business card.
Okay.
But it's also odd that you would find even the remains of a business card out here, given the pretty dire nature of this.
It sounds like it might be something significant, so I'm going to ask that patient if I can have that.
Oh, she willingly gives it to you. She's like, if it can help, please, take this.
Does my crap cellular phone have photo capabilities?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a photo of the business card, and I'm going to send it to Syntax with a short message saying, hey, can you connect the dots with this?
Okay. There is no cell phone reception out here, so it's pending until you get back closer to town.
Okay.
You would know typically that cell phone reception really only goes, at least especially in America, only about 20 miles outside of town. Things have broke down, bad enough that cell phone reception is nowhere near as good as it was before. Unless you're in more larger metropoli like East Coast or whatnot, where there's more cities on top of one another.
Okay.
Eric, as you are kind of just keeping an eye on her, you're thankful that nobody's advancing or making any sort of obscene gestures or something. She seems to be doing a pretty good job of attending to everything. But since you aren't paying attention to any one individual and you're just kind of keeping your head on the swivel, give me an intelligence and awareness notice roll. So add those two together and then a D10 roll.
Awareness notice. Where would awareness be at?
Under intelligence-based skills.
Give me a second. Dude, I'm not finding it.
On the left-hand side toward the bottom.
It's the third one under intelligence.
Yep.
The sheet I have, like the whole left side is cut off, so like all the source I don't.
Oh, really?
That was my fault. It was a printing error.
Oops, my bad.
In the words of
Oh, hey, I see it. So that's 3 and plus intelligence.
Yes.
Okay, and then what am I rolling?
1d10.
Okay. So 11 total.
11 total. Okay. Not bad. As you are poking around and kind of keeping, your eyes open at this point, it's making you a little twitchy being around this many people. Just in general, from a security perspective, you're only one person and you're in a sea of at least 500 where you're at. If something went desperately wrong, you're fucked.
Okay.
So you're just kind of like, okay, well, at least she's doing good. Got my eyes on her. And then when you kind of glance around, you see a guy walking around the camp, and it seems a little off. And by off, I don't mean my clothing, because he looks the part. By off, he looks healthier than the other people here.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Otherwise, he looks the part. He's got a scruffy beard. He's got some raggedy clothing, which may have been like office attire that became all-time attire.
Yeah, I'm gonna nudge Rusty without taking my eyes off this guy until she gets the gesture that I'm saying, "Hey, look at this dude over here," so we can focus on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch what he does for a while.
Okay. So go ahead and roll again then, Locke. And then, Rusty, if you want to look up and around and see what he's kind of motioning towards.
Same thing?
Yeah, same thing. It's going to be intelligence and awareness.
He looks a little well-fed.
18 total.
Ooh, nice. And, Missy, did you roll?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
You said it was intelligence plus...
Intelligence plus awareness.
On the sheet, it'll say awareness notice.
Yes, on the left-hand side.
Oh, I see it now.
She notices it. Wah, wah.
20.
Nice.
Right
Damn,
on.
you both do really good. Okay, so when he points it out, yeah, you've got eyes on him, and not you so much, Missy, because you're not combat trained, but Eric, the way he's moving through these tents, he's ducking and covering. Not the way people who are paranoid would, clearly ducking or whatnot, but he's clearly trying to put as many bodies and obstructions to vision to anybody who might be looking. So
Okay.
you lose them a couple times, but you pick it back up again because you guys are, being real diligent watching, and that's how you pick up on it. You're like, this guy is trying to move through the camp unseen.
Can we
Gotcha.
see him yet as we're walking up?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Can we see what he's getting into each of these tents, or we just see him going in and coming out?
No, he's not going in or coming out. It's think of it along the lines of like if you're walking through the forest, you're just walking through the forest, but you're trying to put as many big trees and foliage in your way as possible.
Okay.
So you're still
walking,
walking, but you're just trying to obscure your, anybody who might
not
be
in
watching.
not in a straight line and trying to put stuff behind you. Okay, gotcha.
What was that, Derek?
We're coming up at this time.
Yes.
So we see him
So-
from the other side.
Well, it depends upon what you roll. So go ahead and roll intelligence and awareness. Well, I should say add intelligence and awareness, and then roll a d10.
19.
Nice.
21.
21. Okay.
We are aware.
Yes. So you guys come walking up from the other side to the camp, and the first thing you guys spot is you spot Locke and you spot Rusty, and they seem to be looking at something, and that's the first thing that sets you guys off. You're like, wait, what are they looking at? And you kind of look around, and you spot somebody kind of walking in your direction, but he's walking in a manner that would keep a lot of the tents and just crap that's in the camp in the way. Basically, you guys have seen this sort of thing before. It's somebody's trying to be casual, but they're trying to ghost somebody.
What's the general direction that he's going to? I want to kind of casually head in that direction.
That's not a problem because he's actually walking towards you guys. Because your guys are coming out of the desert.
Right.
But because it's painfully obvious you guys are coming out of the desert, you just see him kind of turn, and he starts walking in a westward direction, back towards where your vehicles are at.
So he notices that we notice him?
It's hard to say. He just turned.
Didn't it look like that guy just saw us?
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that he's headed back towards our vehicles.
No.
So let's go follow him.
Yeah. Definitely pick up pace a little bit and tail him.
All right. So what about Missy and Eric? Are you guys going to tail him or keep watching?
No, I wanted to keep following him.
Okay. So at this point, if you're trying to follow, are you trying to follow obviously, or are you trying to sneakily do it?
Sneak.
Sneak.
I don't want him to notice.
So those of you who are trying to sneak, you need to roll. You need to add your reflex and stealth, which is under reflex-related skills, and a D10.
I'm sorry, what?
It's going to be your reflex.
Okay.
22 total.
So reflex and stealth, and then a D10 roll. Nice.
22 total.
13.
Yeah, I got 13 too.
Okay. So the four of you start, you break basically and start kind of, following and trying to tail this guy. Mac and Locke. He ends up ducking through some tents, like actually physically ducking at one point. Hellcat and Rusty lose sight of him at this point. You guys lose sight of him, but you're pretty sure you know where he's at. And as you come up to the tent, you end up seeing that he was basically trying to reverse, but he didn't see you two. And so now he's like face to face and sees the both of you, and then he sprints west, like full run.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take off after him.
Okay.
Same.
So now we need to find out what everybody's MA is.
8.
8.
7.
Well, mine's 6.
Okay. And that probably makes sense given the fact that you're more cybered than anybody at this point. So everybody goes to a full sprint, trying to make their way there. He, jerks a little bit like you're trying to, shake somebody directly. And he ends up getting to a vehicle first. And it's a fairly nondescript sedan. And he whips a bitch and accelerates back down the 10.
Shit, man.
Can I get a plate number?
Like mowing people down kind of thing?
No, there's nobody else out here past this way. You guys parked at the western edge of the camp, so he would just be hauling ass down an empty highway.
Oh, okay.
Can I get a plate number?
How are you going to get a plate number? With your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll certainly let you try that. Give me a reflex and awareness notice. So add your reflex and awareness notice as you're attempting to take the picture.
17.
Okay, not bad. So
Dang, girl.
you were expecting him to bolt like quickly, and when you saw him start to run, you're like, oh no, bitch! You already had like your running with your phone sort of thing.
Not today, Satan.
Yeah, not today, Isis, not today.
I see you.
But as he whips a bitch, you're just like click 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 as soon as he's like turning around, and so you end up with like 10 pictures that probably won't mean a damn thing, but one of them in there probably has a decent picture of his plate.
All right, well, I got pictures, so we can send them off to Syntax and at least see if she can pull something from it or piece them together and see what we can make of it.
We're all back together at this point.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we should probably
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you guys were all running in the same direction, but he just got to his vehicle first.
What'd you guys find out?
I have this partial business card that I was also going to send to Syntax, so maybe we should.
Yeah.
What'd you guys get out there?
Well, so we found a piece of address, but there's more to it than that. From the confirmations that Mac gave me when we were out, it looks like we may be dealing with possibly something similar to what my last case was. And
vehicle.
yeah, the ghostly sounds that they've reported hearing and stuff, that can be from a specialized EV4. They end up sounding like ghostly wails, basically, when they fly low enough to the ground. But that thing's supposed to be stealth. So, I don't know.
Now, this facility that you're captive in, right?
Right.
Was that part of the trade? Were there men involved also? Were there like?
So from what I can tell you, from what I remember and what I saw, I was going after a girl who had been sold, and from what I got from the person that sold her.
Please continue. I'll be right back.
Okay, was that he didn't have a name. He didn't have a name. He had a number. And so he gave me the number. I got the number out of him. And he said that these pickups happen at night. They have a buyer, but they don't know who he is. At least this guy didn't. From tracking down the number and some of the information, I believe that this leads back to a person, I don't know if it's a man or woman, named the Black Marquis. To me, it sounds like something pretty serious. The facility that I was in, whoever owns or runs this facility has a lot of connections and a lot of money. It took a lot to get in there.
Right. Now, were they solely dealing in young girls, or was there young boys? Were there slaves?
I couldn't tell you. The only person that we got out of that facility was my client. Other than that, I couldn't say. However, I got her out, and I can be in contact with her. I don't know how questioning her will go. She's been pretty loose the last 2 weeks, but she's pretty fucked up from what happened. So I'm happy to put in some questions.
All right. Because evidently with the abduction of not being specific for, male versus female, young, old, whatever the case may be, that it seems to me that they're doing one of two things. There's either an enhanced slave trade, whether it's for younger boys, maybe slavery.
So when Syntax and I talked about it, she had heard other things about similar situation, and in her opinion, the sex trafficking thing was a red herring. It was just a decoy. So my best guess, when we got my girl out, she had obviously been hooked up on drip. I don't know what they were giving her, but
I wonder if they're doing something with biotesting.
I'm wondering if they're not either biotesting or if they're harvesting.
Do we know if any of these people around here have heard these ghostly sounds?
Yeah, they had.
Good.
That's why we were checking it out. We were looking for something other than just standard tracks because that doesn't make any sense. But after seeing that, it seems like the tracks confirm that there was something that landed. That's exactly what it looks like. Is like some sort of hovercraft had landed or had traveled low enough to the ground to disperse it. But the tracks were a little rough because of wind.
Some big shit, man.
I mean, if we're talking about type of thing, and this is a transient community, they're just waiting to be picked up. This is
right.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
an untapped market.
yeah.
Yeah, they're free to come and grab anybody at their disposal for the most part because they're lacking in defense and food and
Nobody's gonna miss them when they're gone.
Right.
The question really is what's bringing them in? Did anyone happen to find that out? Did anyone find?
No, that's
have an ad?
that's what I was trying to find out. I don't. It's weird how they all just amassed all of a sudden.
What's bringing them here?
But we don't know what the call was. That's still eluding us.
Hang tight for just a few minutes. Let me check something out. Do I see after running through there, did I happen to notice any family organizations in there? Like a father, mother with small children, possibly?
Yeah, definitely.
I go back to that spot.
Okay, so to the last family you passed by or
The
something?
last family, yeah.
Sure.
And I talk to him and I say, hey, look, I kind of like, I feel your plight. And we checked out what was south. It seems like it's not ghosts, it's not otherworldly. I don't know if you guys had thought that or not, but it seems like somebody's abducting your group of people here. And I'm talking to the father and maybe the mother if she's involved or if she's there.
Yeah,
I don't
you started talking to like the first family spot, or you spotted. They're a Hispanic family, mixed, so like father is Caucasian of some kind, the rest of the family looks Hispanic or something. But yeah, they've got 2 children, so I mean, they're intently listening to what you're relaying to them.
Right, and I let them know, and I say, what was it that brought you out here?
So the husband, he's like, kind of looks and pats his kids on the shoulder, and he says, well, for me initially, because we didn't have any money, we came from New Mexico. I saw an ad for a sleep study that was going to pay really well, and I figured if anything that would have got us on our feet, and then we could have found something pretty quick, and it would have bought at least my wife some time to find a job. But they ended up I guess closing that study, or they had all the people they needed or something. So I don't know. So we're kind of stuck out here with nothing.
Do you have close friends here?
No, we don't have anybody out here. But then again, we didn't have anybody else out in New Mexico either.
Make your way to the west side of town.
What's on the west side? Don't we have to worry about the booster gangs? We're told that Knights or the Raven's Edge is nearby.
On the south side of the 10, you do not.
But the Razor's Edge, we're told that a really bad gang is like just west of here. Aren't we going to go through like their territory?
You stay to the main drags and you don't go off to the side. It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I'm telling them something that as long as of what I would know anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So stick to that. And if you can make it to the other side of town on the south side of the 10, my family is there.
Your family?
My family.
So you're a nomad?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, but are there like any jobs? Is there any? Because I need a way to provide for my family.
we have meager means, but when you go there, my family can put you in contact with some people that may be able to get you lined up with at least some work to get a little bit of to get a few credits.
Okay. Okay. So how are we going to get there though? We don't have a vehicle. Like most of us took like buses and dropped off, or we hitched.
Do I get a good vibe from this guy?
Good question. Give me it's going to be empathy and let's see. Let's just go. Let's go empathy and awareness notice. Specifically looking for body language.
19.
Okay. He seems legit. The clothing, while worn and tattered, and obviously stained at this point, looks like he was probably blue collar at one point. So it looks like he may have had a skill set, but which you're all too familiar with. When the corporations come in and drop the robotics down, a lot of human workers get laid off. So just looking at him, that was probably the situation he ran into.
What's your skill set?
Oh, I was a machinist. I worked on aerodynes for a while.
Vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind working. I don't mind working long hours. I just want to provide for my family.
Do you have your tools?
No, we sold those to get out here.
Does my family have some? Does my family have a meager amount of stuff like that, like sporadic stuff?
Oh yeah,
full set.
They're all like old and worn and whatnot, but no, they've got some. They have to in order to keep the caravan going.
We could use somebody of your skill set.
Okay.
As I said, we're of meager means, but you may be able to find some extra work. I can even point you out in the right direction. I need my vehicle right now. But hang tight for just a little bit. I want you to stay locally inside the camp.
Okay.
And I don't want you going to the south side at all. That is where they're being abducted. If you've established any friendships here, be very, very cautious.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We can do that. Do we have a way to contact you? If we need to reach out to you.
Do you have a cell phone?
It's not charged.
I'll give him my number, but if he can find a way. I said, but do I have any nomad groups or anybody out here on the east side that I may know or may know me?
Actually, another good question. So now we want to roll, let's see. Hold on 1 second. Crack open the book here real fast. Definitely going to be your family skill, but I'm trying to find which one it matches up with.
Perhaps family?
Yeah, hang on. There we go. And naturally, it doesn't say right there what it's supposed to, so. Okay, so I'm going to look up the skill itself. Here we go. So add your intelligence and family and a D10 roll.
19.
Damn. You know of another small independent group that's out here. You don't have a whole lot of contact with them directly because of obviously the dangers of going through town. But on occasion you've met like somewhere in town somewhere, and you've mostly traded information. Occasionally, a care package or two with like some parts or something like that to swap out.
Okay.
They're more agriculturally inclined and have been hanging out near the mountains, dealing primarily with like fungi and vine-based plants that they can hang up. So they have a little bit of fresh produce, which is actually one of their big draws because of that, because they can change that in for cha-ching. And their big need is actual technical skills for like parts and shit like that.
Okay. I refer to him, this group of people
Mm-hmm.
that I would assume are much closer than my group.
Yes, yeah, they're on the east side. They're closer to town, but they're on the east side. You do know that they trade primarily with the Quins.
Okay. How far away is it from here, roughly?
10 miles, maybe, from where you think their camp is at.
Okay. Tell them there's a place I have. Gather your things, and within here in a little bit, I'll transport you there, at least in the interim. With your skill set, you should be able to help them, at least for right now, to get by. And I'll put in a good word for you. And then whether it's through me or through them, we can get you transported to my side.
Okay, but like everything comes at a cost. What do I owe you?
Your skills.
Just my skill?
Your skills. Your loyalty.
Okay, done. Absolutely.
How old is family? Do I see?
What's that?
How old are his kids?
Was 7 and 5.
I say, you know what, my little sister would love to help out with your family too.
Okay. I mean, we're not in any position to turn down help. So I mean, yeah, just anything to get out of here.
Done. I'm kind of going out on a limb here. Don't disappoint me.
No, I get it. Believe me, I get it. No, I will do my damnedest.
Very well. What else have you heard around here since you've been here?
Well, I mean, outside of like the ghostly whispers crap coming out of the south.
Yeah. Anything else? What are the other reasons why people have come here? Why here all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, some of them did say they came for like that sleep study. I guess that advertisement went around like a ways. I don't know. Another one. They're already gone. I don't know what happened to them. I think they moved on. But there was another family that came out here from. Where did they say? I think they said they came up from Tucson. They were coming up here. I guess there was supposed to be like some I don't want to say it's industrial work, but line work, just assembly that people were coming up for, and by the time they got up here, the jobs they weren't there. They were full, is what they were saying.
All right, gives me a bit of information. Thank you. And
he says, since you're asking, and this is just me, it's my opinion. I mean, I could totally be wrong, but when that help truck came out, something was really off. I'm just a me.
Also,
it was disorganized. I mean, I've seen like the Red Cross, the guys who come out and help, and they've got the stuff in the back, and it's usually orderly. This was like 3 guys that weren't even really in that type of uniform. Like one guy had like a typical medical overcoat, right? Like you would see like in maybe an emergency room or something. The other two guys just, I don't know, they just struck me as like the guys you would find out in front of a department store looking for work.
Any symbols?
No, I didn't see any symbols. They had the Red Cross logo or something similar on the side of the van, but when they brought it out, like everybody rushed the van and then they grabbed the stuff, but the guys didn't really seem too concerned. It was almost like they expected it, and you would imagine, especially with the number of people that were here, that there would have been more than one truck, or there would have been like an admin or something kind of directing the traffic, and maybe like a fold-out table, to take names and whatnot. And I didn't see any of that. It was like somebody brought up a food truck and kicked out a bunch of garbage to the homeless sort of thing.
Did you get anything from them?
Well, we got some kibble. I mean, the kibble was fine. I didn't see anything wrong with the food. There was nowhere near enough, and it struck me as deliberate.
I gave him 6 days out of my 7 days of ration of kibble.
Oh, damn. So you guys see him break out like, most of the box of prepackaged kibble food that he's got, and he just hands it to his family.
I give it to him. I said I'd give you more, but I have to have a little bit of something for myself.
No, Jesus, man. I mean, wow. I wasn't expecting this. Thanks. And he kind of smacks his girls, his kids, and it's like, thank you, sir.
My pleasure. I will see you. And actually, we have Rusty's car out here, don't we?
No, she rode with me.
She rode with she rode with Hellcat.
Okay.
You ride a lot.
And go back and fill in what I had learned.
Okay.
So I visibly bristle when he brings up the sleep study ad. That is how my client from my last case ended up in this. She was trying to find a way to make some quick cash. She responded to an ad for this sleep study, and the next thing I knew, I was pulling her out of South Mountain.
There was some other one too. Some other advertisement too. It seems like they all went out at the same time, and they were all to meet here. Seems way too convenient.
Well, what I'm wondering is if the advertisements stopped after we raided South Mountain, and now they're raiding and regrouping.
So is the place at South Mountain gone, or are they?
I don't know. We went in. We cleared out all of the armed guards that were there. We cleared out what we could, and we took my client and left.
Okay, so it seems like they just moved then.
Where exactly, if I missed this, where did they get the advertisement for the sleep study?
She got off the screen sheet.
Off of where?
Which she said a scream sheet. So this is a good segue to explain what that is. Basically, a scream sheet is the modern version of a newspaper. The difference is it's if you're familiar with Star Wars, it's like the plexiglass, plastic really, but it has little microchips and a power supply, so it'll last up to maybe 3 days. And it will update daily, with whatever updates at that time frame. So think of it kind of like a throwaway tablet, but it's clear, and you get your daily news, you can get your classified ads, you get all kinds of stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Maybe we can have Syntax backtrack the advertisement and maybe we can find out where this is originating from.
What it's from the outside looking in, what it's sounding like is after they did the shutdown at this South Mountain place, it for all intents and purposes, it seems like they just moved out here and are operating out of this mountain range that we're at right now.
Quite possible.
My
Because they're still taking people, though. They're still taking people. It's obvious it's coming from the west, and that's where South Mountain is.
my real question, and I don't know how I feel about it, is how much of this do we relay back?
To the DA?
Yeah, because if we came out here and just investigated the transient population, you probably wouldn't know anything if I hadn't just dealt with all of this. So how much do we let him know is going on for now? He seems to be a good guy, and I have no questions against him.
So maybe we can not let him know everything that we've figured out or that we've learned, but perhaps just let him know that we found out that they were coming out here for a potential job. Maybe the sleep study. Let him in on that.
I would be comfortable letting him know that there are disappearances. I mean,
and that the population is being abducted.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there are people that it's happened enough that they've noticed their neighbors are disappearing.
Right. And we can kind of give him a little bit, hey, it seems like they're coming out of the south side. They hear a ghostly whisper. We won't tell them what we've seen out there.
Comfortable with that.
But
do we let him know about the runner?
I would mention the runner, and I would mention the health truck that came out. Those are odd things, and I can't verify that health truck is related to the.
I'd fork him over those pictures too and see maybe if he can use his connects to see if he can find us anything about whose car that is, or if we can find out anything about it.
Yeah, I say we send it to the DA and to Syntax, like Rusty was saying.
I say let's let this Syntax is your guys' friend, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that I'd call her a friend, but she hasn't steered me wrong yet, and I had to put my life completely in her hands.
She's trustworthy. She's reliable. She's someone we can count on.
Sounds like I trust her more than the DA at this point. I say we can give her just about everything that we know, and if she can figure out something, then we can also kind of see the reaction that we get from the DA.
She also knows the details of the last case because she was the one that walked me through it and got me out alive. So should be a good one to update.
Sounds like we got a plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Rusty update Syntax.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shoot Syntax our photos of the license plate, the business card. I'm also going to send her a photo of the dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cat recovered, and an update of what happens and a physical description of the runner and the health truck, etc.
Okay. Are you heading back into town to do this? Because you will have to, because you don't have a signal yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what's our plan then? Before we leave,
I would say go to the casino because if we're going to tell the DA anything, we either have to arrange a call with him or arrange a meeting with him.
Can we get signal from the casino?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then.
The
I'll meet you there.
casino's just on the edge of town.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll meet you guys there.
I'll meet you there. I'm going to drop this family off.
Okay.
Okay.
Direction.
So, long story short, you drop the family off, giving them, an explanation, and they know who you are, so they take you at your word, and take the family in to watch over them, and obviously utilize his skills to repair some stuff, which he's happy to get to right away. You end up meeting up at the casino. The casino has a kind of an Old West feel to it, but it's glamour and it's glitz. There's lights that shine up into the sky, and standing out front are some it looks like it's a little bit heightened security this time around.
Then we were there this morning.
What's that? Yes.
Jerome, can I walk in this place?
Can you what?
Can I even walk in this place?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So as you guys come walking into the front door, you see one of the Quins behind a podium sort of thing. Just one of them saying in her little accent, she's like, "Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya?" Just greeting everybody as you come walking in.
Oh.
And then there's another one that's sitting up front, kind of like at a help desk. And sees you come walking in, and she sees Hellcat, and she's like, "Oh, hi, honey, how are you doing? You looking much better."
Thanks, Harvey.
Better than what?
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about that night.
I just block a puzzled look.
Who's on the venue?
For entertainment?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. She's like, "Oh, we got a local this time around. Her name's Sarah Tremere. Real
Wow.
popular vampire singer. She's going to be going on in about an hour."
That sounds like a really interesting show. Maybe we should check it out in our downtime.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds
She's like, "What's wrong, honey?
We
Cat
gotta
got your
wait for
tongue?"
Syntax to get back to us. Might as well.
Yeah.
Oh, she says specifically to Mac as he's kind of like, twitching and whatnot. He's like, she's like, "What's wrong, honey? Cat got your tongue?"
Cats don't survive very long out here. It's probably the lizard.
Lizard tongue? So what you're saying? You got a forked tongue? You want to experiment?
Oh my god.
Do we have to check our guns?
I'll have to pass today. Sounds like a good show, though.
What'd you say?
Sounds like a good show, though.
No, I'm sorry, Jess.
If we're walking in, do we have to check our guns?
Yes, you will have to check your guns in.
Well,
They allow you to be strapped with melee weapons, so brass knucks, knives, so on and so forth. But pistols, rifles, so on and so forth, gotta check them in.
okay, so I check in my 2 pistols. I keep my brass knuckles and my 2 switchblades.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I'm not carrying around my sword, but I have a chain knife on me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I checked my gun.
Okay.
Yeah, my two guns. Keep my knife.
And a waitress comes walking around with shot glasses of alcohol.
I'm going to imbibe because I always do.
I'm gonna pass right now. Thanks.
Just kind of pass it around.
I'm headed to the bar.
Okay.
I want more than a shot.
So then she just walks on to go tend to other people at the casino. You guys all been to casinos before? It's not much different. It's pretty brightly lit in here. So think most everything on the inside is treated kind of like in golds and whites. So it's very vibrant in here. There's some wood paneling here and there. All of the chairs are very plush. It's very well kept. They've got the best slot machines. Like you would expect from a place trying to be a top-notch facility. They've got people playing blackjack, people playing poker. I mean the whole works. And you see there's a large monitor that acts kind of like a scrolling advertisement, of stuff that's coming out. And it's got a display down, and it shows a picture of Sarah Tremere, and it's got a countdown as to what's going. And you can actually see a steady line of people dressed in various types of Sarah Tremere merch.
Do we want to take the time between now and meeting for the show to split up and ask people around the casino if they've heard of the stuff going on out east?
I think that might be a good idea. Maybe we should split up and
Like you guys have to make phone calls, right? Because you got to call Syntax, and I am assuming Locke is gonna call the DA.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Be real careful because being as this is a casino, there's always going to be people that are affiliated with a little bit of everything and anything and everything. So be real careful what you say. Be kind of be bad if we started talking to the wrong person. Then
that makes sense.
Our quartet might be a trio really quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Okay. So who's going to call who first?
I'll call the DA.
Okay. So he comes up on your screen, from the phone that he has tied to it. It's basically a burner phone so that he can communicate with just his people.
Gotcha.
So
let him know.
He says, Locke, my boy, good to hear from you. I hope you have an update.
Absolutely, sir. We've made our way into the camp. We found that there are instances of people here coming for some kind of a job. We're still looking at that lead as far as what that entails, but the sounds coming from the desert, we're trying to figure out what's going on there as well. But there's talk about people missing, but nobody really knows what's going on.
So based on your gut instinct and the rumor that you've just relayed to me that there are people missing, do you think this is really happening?
In my gut, there's definitely something going on, sir. It's I like to get some more details before jumping to that.
Okay.
As far as the plague or whatnot goes, we don't have a lead on that either. But there's something definitely fishy here. It needs to be looked at further.
All right, very well. I'll trust your judgment on this then. I will need you to follow up again then tomorrow prior to the release of pay. I want to make sure that we get another chance to look at this camp a little bit further in detail. Get with your partners and see what you can do about getting, even if you have to rent it, a medical van. Do a more thorough examination, see who will open up to you.
Okay.
I really need to make sure that the health, at least to start, that the health of these individuals is accounted for. Because if I have to run this up the ladder to more in the government, I want to be able to make a solid case here to explain why there really is a crisis out here, and this is just not a bunch of nomad gangs that just decided to show up.
Will do.
And if you can get more detail on the possible abductions, anything confirmed, witnesses, anything, we really need this.
I'm going to try my best.
I have a suspicion, and this is between you and I, but I have a suspicion that someone in the police department may be involved.
Do you know who?
I'm hesitant to say at this point because I don't want to slander if I'm incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
But there's too many inconsistencies with how this is being followed.
Okay, understood. All right, that puts a new spin on things. I'm going to get to the bottom of this and see what we can figure out tomorrow then.
Okay, I look forward to your update.
All right.
Oh, and before you go, Locke, I am transferring $2,000 to your account. Please hand that to your mother when next you have the opportunity.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call Syntax then.
Okay. So the line comes through rather quickly. She's like, hi.
Hey, you.
Hey, so what's going on? And she's like doing this with her hair, like, kind of twirling it in her finger.
Did you get my photos?
Yeah, I just got them. Were you out outside of cell phone range or something? Because like they all came in one gigantic clump.
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry. I had to get back into close enough in the grid where I could get you on the phone and send you that.
Okay, so well, what am I looking for? I mean, you've got a bunch of pictures here of a vehicle, but outside of the plate, is there something specific about it?
So I give her a brief description of the runner and what he looks like, and what happened with him evading us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It seems very strange that this person was evading us. He just seems like he didn't belong there, and I'm pretty sure the disappearances that have been happening in this camp might have something to do with this person.
But he might be tied to whatever's going on?
Right, but we don't exactly know what's going on yet. If you could maybe take a look at the part of the business card I sent you, if you could maybe get any information off of it, either that or maybe the dress, the photo of the dress.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah,
it was a little hard to tell. I couldn't tell if that was like a blouse or what.
Yeah, both of those items don't belong here.
I got to tell you, that card is going to be really hard. That's like a serious internet scrub. I'll do what I can.
Okay. That's all I ask, really.
But that dress, that's a high. I recognize that pattern. That's a high fashion. Like,
really?
What the hell? I mean, where did you find it?
It's really in the middle of nowhere, nearest to a transient camp. Where would we find something like this? I mean, I'm not very much one for fashion, as you know, but where would we find something like this? Where would this come from?
Oh, believe me, I know. We still need to take you shopping.
Yeah.
But you could find something like this downtown, in like one of the high rises or something. There's a bunch of hoity-toity, cater to the rich clothing companies, and I've seen that pattern before.
Is there any way you can tie that pattern to a particular fashion designer? Is this something that would be limited run?
Yeah, it would be specific. I could probably find because it's super specific and catered to the rich. So they're going to have all kinds of images and whatnot to advertise what it is that they're trying to give away. So
right.
or market, I should say. So yeah, I mean, I should probably be able to come up with really quick.
Okay. Maybe if we can find out where it was sold, or maybe we can find who it was sold to.
Okay. So, so then you're looking into the transient case or whatever's going on out there?
Yeah. These people were given the promise, and just so that you're aware, being completely honest with you, we were a little vague with the district attorney just because we're not sure what we're looking at yet. But it looks like people are being stolen, in particular young women from this transient camp. People were given a promise of money and a job through a sleep study.
Whoa! You said a sleep study?
A sleep study.
We just ran into that with Hellcat's last client.
Yeah, she and I discussed that. So we think those things might be linked.
That company's name is Reconquista LLC.
Reconquista LLC?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just, and then I'm kind of thinking out loud. I wonder. I know that they're tied clearly, but here's the thing: when I got Hellcat out and she got her partner and her client out of this facility, which looked like in a just some abandoned home on at South Mountain, the police never reported it, although they showed up.
Huh, that makes sense.
But on top of that, because I had a drone and I stayed in the area. They had a cleanup team go in.
When you say they had a cleanup team, when the police had a cleanup team go in?
Somebody had a cleanup team. Whoever was running that place, like everybody that died from this monstrosity of a human being. He ran some over, gunned some of them down. I mean, it was pretty gory.
Okay.
And they cleaned the whole thing up, hon. I mean, I don't think there's any evidence of even the shaft, the elevator shaft in place.
Okay.
These guys were really good.
Do we have any players that might have been left from the last time around?
Do we have any what?
Any players that might have been left over from the last time around? Anyone who might have a vested interest in kidnapping?
Not that I'm aware of, but whatever's going on is tied to this company that's on here, because her client, and I'm still not too sure how she knew, but she knew enough when she was getting abducted that on the screen sheet she had selected that sleep study.
Okay.
So I'm positive they're tied. I just don't know, like, why. I mean, why would you hold a sleep study for people? You know, like, I mean, unless, like what I told her, I said if it wasn't for, slave purposes or for, reselling, for like a sex market or something, I mean, it could be kind of grisly. It could be a ripper doc. It could be somebody doing it for parts.
Yeah, that's no good. Shit, okay. All right, well, if you could just take a look and find out whatever you can and just let me know at the earliest, and I'll keep Hellcat updated and the rest of our team.
Okay, we'll do. We're going to have dinner soon, right?
We will.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know things are getting like, I mean, I know things jumped right into it because trying to get you money and a job, but I haven't had like us time to like decompress, and I'm really hoping that we can set some time aside to do that, because I haven't seen you in a long time, which of course you know, and I know, and I'm self-deprecating, and I'm repeating myself again. Please tell me to shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah, thank you.
You know I'm kidding.
I know. So just please be careful. Whoever these guys are, they're really connected, at least locally.
All right, I'll try and keep in the shadows.
Okay.
I'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and I'll let you know as soon as I find out more. And she hangs up.
Okay, as soon as she's off the phone, I'm going to tell everybody in our group about the call that went down.
Okay.
I'll let them know, hey, the DA wants us to go back with a more medical side approach, see if we can really find out if there is going to be a plague or if anything impending city official-wise. He also said that this might smack of a cover-up. He wouldn't go into further, but he thinks there's some shady police business going on here too.
Hearing that, I'm going to step away and call Jill.
Okay. So I mean, she quickly picks up the phone because she doesn't really have a life right now. I mean, her life is watching her brother. She's like, hey, Kat, what? So, any updates? What's going on?
Tell me, how's he doing?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. There was some background noise.
I said, you tell me, how's he doing?
He's still steady. I mean, there's no improvements beyond like the twitch thing, but I'm at least not seeing any like signs of like the machine breaking or anything. So I mean, it seems to be working okay. And of course, I've got the oxygen for him, so he doesn't have any problems there. I read in one of the books, which I don't know if it really applies because he's like got a whole lot of cybernetics, but I guess I'm supposed to like work out the limbs or something. So I've been trying to do that to keep occupied, and I guess it's supposed to help with muscle fatigue or something. I know he has some in there, but so I'm trying. Anything on your end?
obviously he's my main concern. Right now, my question is, I know we have him hooked up to the van. What do we need to get him off of that?
You mean if we're just gonna keep him plugged to a monitor?
Yeah, just something that we can have in the house and get him out of the
Yeah.
van.
No, well, obviously we'll need a bed big enough for him that can
Yeah.
support him, but just the EKG unit.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. He's just it's the vehicle was big enough to support him, and with the EKG unit that's in there, it could monitor him. But obviously, can't do anything with the vehicle or him really until we figure out a way to get past that. And that's one of the reasons why I was wanting that device.
I know.
Because if we have to work on him, it's going to be difficult to do it in the van.
I know. I'm there. I'm at the end of it. I've been guaranteed at the end of this job that we'll have it, and I promise you we'll have it. I need to get him out of that van. I need the van. I just don't know how I'm going to do this.
Okay.
At this point, you can tell I'm just stressed and thinking out loud.
Okay. What can I help with? I mean, if we can figure out something for him, we just need somebody we trust to watch him, because I can fly. I can fly the van.
I know. All right, look, I didn't want to do this, but I've got a team of people here, and I'm going to bring them back to the house.
Okay. I mean, this was your call, so do you trust him? Is it okay?
We don't have a choice. This whole thing is so connected, and
yeah, I know.
Jill, I know the last few weeks have been really rough, but I'm going to need you to talk to me about what happened.
I'll tell you all that I remember. I don't have any reason not to. But
right.
Okay, then get whoever you need, and I guess bring them over. Do I need to get drinks or anything? Okay.
No, just make sure there's plenty of non-alcoholic and food in the house. Keep them fed, keep them drunk, or not drunk, but keep them satisfied.
Yeah, I will, and I've still got the gun.
Good. You do not open that door unless it's me.
No, I won't. Trust me, I won't. Or Syntax, but she usually just talks to me like over the phone.
I don't know what time we'll be there, so I can't say for sure. I'll try and text you to give you a heads up, but I can't guarantee that. So just expect me.
Okay, I'll stay up.
Okay.
Just send me a text or something when you're on your way.
All right, we'll do.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to make a quick phone call to myself real fast.
Okay.
Call back to my family.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I have I'm sure I do, but the contact number for whoever the patriarch of my clan is right now.
Yeah.
Call him up.
Okay. He is the father figure, the patriarch. Everybody refers to him as Mason.
As what?
As Mason.
Mason?
Yeah.
Okay. So I say, hey, Mason, I've essentially rescued a family, and I kind of give him the rundown of the situation with the Hispanic family,
mm-hmm.
where they're at
mm-hmm.
with our friendly clan, and I also let him know of the situation of the vagrant population over there.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of down and out people and families that are there. Kind of basically tell them how it was a sleep study. If anybody of our group, do not accept any job offers of that sort.
All right, I'll make sure to pass that around.
And if possible, we may be able to increase our numbers to a point, and also help out some willing and able people. Looks like there's a lot of families. There's a lot of children there. They're malnourished. They're not doing very well. And I'd be willing to bet that these are some decent people, and they need some help. If we can have one of our transports go over there, and even go a couple times, make sure one of our people who knows how to read people goes with them. Though they shouldn't find anybody, and I would not accept anybody. And I kind of give them a description of the man that ran,
Mm-hmm.
and I also say everybody there is malnourished. If they see anybody who isn't, be suspect.
All right, I'll definitely spread the word. Keep in mind, things are perilous here enough as it is. We can't just willingly take in everybody we want. So
I understand. I think though that this is going to be something that would be very beneficial for us in the long run, because some of the skill sets there seem to be very applicable to what we may need.
Okay.
And also some potential for just increase in status and population to where we can
All right.
increase our family.
Well, you know that you have the elders' favor at this point. So if that is your risk assessment, we will definitely take it into consideration, and we will bring this family back for observation and possible inclusion into the family. In the meantime, we'll do.
I feel very good about. The rest, I still think there could be some potential there, but
Okay.
we do need to be cautious.
Okay. We did have another incident while you were out, however.
What?
There was the police are attributing it to gang violence along the I-10 coming back. Two of our members were involved in a car collision.
Who?
He lists off, two names. And he says, the interesting thing is that the Knight's Call did not claim any sort of involvement, although they are being blamed because it was in their territory. We're still waiting for the autopsy report from our two individuals.
Do I have any contact information for anyone from Knight's Call?
No. There's never been any sort of official channel opened up whatsoever.
It may be time. If we've got something, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. At least maybe perhaps it was time.
Perhaps. I'll discuss it with the rest of the elders to see what they want. In the meantime, you just continue doing what it is you're doing, and then we'll keep you informed with what we know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay. So phone calls made.
So
Missy, Syntax actually comes back and sends you an advertisement. And it's that dress. It was last year's fashion.
So I show the group, hey guys, we got something.
what do you got?
We have a lead on the dress. And then I show them the information that Syntax provided. Do we have like a designer and everything?
Oh yeah, no, it's the designer doesn't live here. Obviously, it's a designer over in Europe. It's European design, but it's sold through select outlets through his particular brand. So they're not numerous.
Okay. So I've already given everybody an update about my phone call with Syntax. It looks like this may be related to a previous case. I text her back and ask her if she can give me any further information about maybe where it was sold, what shop.
And she said she texts you back, says 1 sec.
I'll let everybody know too about something just seems kind of weird about this car accident. Two of my family is dead. They're blaming it on Knight's Call, but Knight's Call is not claiming it, and that's not. They'll claim it typically, won't they?
They'll claim it.
Jerome, they would normally claim it, right?
What's that? Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, we did it. What kind of thing, right?
No, yeah, literally. Yeah, they're a little bit more honorable about it. But if it involves them, they're gonna come outright and say, "Oh yeah, that was fucking us," but they're not claiming it here.
Okay, yeah,
That is weird.
this doesn't add up.
No, but I have someone who can ask about it.
And we haven't. We've now established that the north side of the 10 is theirs. The south side of the 10
on the west side, yes.
or the west side.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the areas that we can go, and my family knows our boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't sound right.
That doesn't, not at all, man.
I don't know if this is anything else, but if the cops are involved and they're pointing fingers in the wrong direction, maybe they're looking at trying to do something else.
Seems like it.
I don't know.
So I am going to bring up the need for the medical van. I have access to one, kind of, but there's a problem.
What's the problem?
God damn, there's always a problem.
Always a problem. I need the EKG to be able to use the van.
You need the EKG now?
I need the EKG now because my partner is hooked up in the van.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
And I need some way to monitor him if I take him out of the van. And I can't take the EKG from the van out of the van. I need another EKG.
I'm gonna call the DA. Give me a second. I'm ringing him right now.
Okay, so he picks back up. He says, "So,
Okay.
Locke, another update? So quick?"
We've got a situation.
Okay, so talk to me. What's going on?
It's this. In order for us to get a van, one of those medical vans, I'm gonna need the EKG for Hellcat, like right away. I know it's before we got our job done or whatnot, but it's working towards that. If in the meantime, if it doesn't pan out and we don't get what you want, if you can do this, then you can take it out of my future pay, or I can pay you in lateral. But I'm putting my money on the line for her.
Wow.
That is very well spoken. Your mom wasn't incorrect. You were definitely raised right. I will trust your judgment on this, and I will make sure that is taken care of. Did you need to pick it up or have me deliver it?
If you can deliver it, we're out by Casino, Arizona, or where Casino, Arizona used to be.
You're at the Rattlers Cove?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Yeah. I will have somebody expedite that over to you. Just be waiting in the parking lot, I guess. They'll have it sent over.
Appreciate it.
Just bring me some results. Bring me something I can actionable that I can enforce.
Can we hear both sides of that conversation?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it all just ties together nicely, boys. So when we have that EKG, I didn't know how I felt about it until now, but Locke, that means a lot, what you just said, sticking your neck out for me. And that really just shows, that I should trust you as much as you seem to trust me. Once we have that EKG, when we leave here, we're going to go back to essentially the safe house that my client is staying at. And we'll be able to take my partner out of the van and have the van to use. I've also talked to guess I might as well call her Jillian now. I've talked to Jillian and I've told her that she's going to need to tell us what happened.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll have firsthand witness for at least something that's going on.
It works.
Okay. So you guys wait outside. There's a unmarked delivery van that kind of comes up. It's your typical, all black van, no windows, on the side sort of thing. Pops open the back. It's got a cardboard box in there with the full, brand new EKG setup. They even give you the dolly for it, to load it up. You also see that there is a complete pack of 30 stim blockers, and there is a box of like gauze and various medical supplies, and then there is also it's small. It's an emergency toolkit that you would normally have specifically to work on cyborg parts.
Very cool.
Awesome. In an effort to cover all the tracks before we leave the casino, I'm going to verify that we've got this and let the team figure out what vehicle it's going to go to the house in. I'm going to step back inside and ask the hostess if Rex is there.
Okay, so she looks around and kind of looks down to the like a monitor real quick and taps the screen a couple times. She says, "No, it doesn't look like he's here tonight.
Okay, perfect.
I think he may have had business elsewhere or something. Did you need me to pass a message on to him? I mean, he's here frequently enough."
Does he generally come nightly?
Not nightly, but he usually comes for like special showings or stuff.
Oh, and he wouldn't want to miss tonight, would he?
I don't know. That's a good question. She did just recently play in their territory, so maybe he doesn't need to see it now.
Okay, well, thanks for your information, hon. Have a great night.
You're welcome, and you are more than welcome to come back in that number that you were in the other night. You were catching some eyes, if I can say so.
Thank you. All right, so then I'm going to go back out and meet up with the team. I'm going to specifically call out to Mac, though, just for transparency, to let him know that I have a contact in the night's call. Doesn't seem like he's in, which is unusual. He definitely seems like a guy that wouldn't want to miss this show tonight. So it's either he's seen it or he's busy, but it's just kind of weird that he's not here.
Has the show started yet?
Yeah, and you can actually hear her opening song, Immigrant Song.
Yeah, I'm not really paying too much attention to what's going on there.
You wanted to go to that show. Should we stop in first?
Sure.
Okay. We don't have to be back to the camp until tomorrow, so we got time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why
So
not?
So we'll wrap up there then. You guys step in basically the front doors. Didn't really get a seat or anything. You kind of peek in and look at it. Setting in the back center stage is this massive metal dragon that's kind of perched upwards and neck and head kind of extended outward. The mouth is opened and you can see a speaker set up there. The wings are spread and there's speakers that kind of line the wings setup, and that's where the sound system is booming. And she is belting out "Immigrant Song" by Led Zeppelin as her open song. And there's easily 700 people in this casino showroom, and they've already got like a small mosh pit started right in the very front, just going at it. And you guys have seen the picture of what she looks like. All of her band members look very similar. And she gets done with that one. And of course the crowd is going wild. Apparently she's known for kicking off most of her shows with that particular song. Oops, I think I clicked the wrong one. No, I didn't. I got the right one. Okay. So the next one is she's taking it in, and they're looking at a set list like they're going to switch up again. She's looking out at the audience, thanking everybody for showing up again tonight. A couple roses get thrown at her. She smells them and obligatory tosses them back out to other fans. Very, very thankful for her folks, even though she looks very spectral. And she looks out among the crowd, and then she kind of pauses for a second. And you see this grin start to form over her face a little bit. And she turns and she says something to the band, and the band are like, and you can see the mouth like, no way. And she nods, and she turns the rest of the crowd, and she says, so normally I kick off my concerts with Immigrant Song, as you know, but this next song is going to be dedicated to someone I knew a little while back. We're going to change things up here for you. And you end up hearing the musical, and it starts going into like a full rap, and she gets out there. All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the sound that they used to. I look funny, but you're making money. See, hey, old world, are you ready for me? You gather around. I'm the new fool of the town. And she literally goes into the full, Humpty dance. She even has the dance down. And of course, the crowd, shocked at first, the mosh pit kind of stops, and then they start looking fake gangster sort of thing, and doing like the sort of thing, and kind of swaying with the music.
Was that for you? I'm looking at Hellcat.
No.
Was that for you?
For me.
What, does Hellcat get around?
And I'm going to look at Mac. Was that for you, Mr. Uncomfortable?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I confirm or deny anything.
And so with that, we will go ahead and stop our game for tonight. We've actually gone quite a while, which is surprising. So thank you for everybody who had been watching or tuned in at various times during the stream. We should be back again, hopefully on the 3rd, barring any sort of last minute changes or something. Otherwise, thank you guys for the game. We're going to go ahead and sign out from here, and I hope to see you guys next time. And you guys hang out real quick. I'm going to do the bumper and then chat with you. So,
all right. Oh, I got to do one of those too. With that.
You guys are going to have to do that again. I had it switched over to Stream End. So go ahead.
Okay.
We heart you. Actually, that looked pretty cool, Eric.